side. He's got that burst. He's down the left sideline.
Johnson, you're not catching him. He's going to the mall. That's the wildest touchdown with an etch-a-sketch run.
Moore is off to the races on the simple option. Quintrell Jackson. He will sprint 4-6.
Going deep in the end zone. Touchdown.
Pleasant Grove High School. Earlier today, the spirit was on for the Spartans. Had a pep rally this afternoon, as per norm with most high schools on a Friday afternoon. Pleasant Grove is taking on Oak Grove tonight. As Kenneth Smith, our producer, so eloquently put down, it's the Battle of the Groves. Hello, everyone. I'm Matt Coulter. Welcome into Jeffco Ed TV and our fourth game of the week. It's hard to believe it's already 4 games into the high school season. But we do have the Battle of the Groves. Take a look at this matchup. First of all, it has been dominated by Pleasant Grove. 9-0. Will it last to 10? This game ought to be a good one in spite of those numbers. Oak Grove comes in undefeated. They're at 3-0. The Spartans are 1-1. Both are 1-0 in region play. And it was Pleasant Grove losing handily to McAdory earlier in the season. Time to take a look and hear from the coaches that will participate in this particular matchup. First of all, let's introduce you to Coach Darrell Fuqua. He is brand new as a head coach. He's brand new right here at Pleasant Grove. He was at Thompson last year, but they kind of made a big switch. We'll get into the personnel and the players that did that. But let's listen to him and how he sees the Spartans playing tonight with our own Chris Osborne.
Here on the campus of Pleasant Grove with first-year head coach Darrell Fuqua. Coach, you're 1-1 playing a team that's 3-0. What are you expecting?
Hard-fought game. Because I told my kids all week the tougher team is going to win, so we're just trying to come in. We've been talking about edge all week, just bringing our edge to the game, setting the tone, and it's going to be tough. The tougher team is going to win, so we just got to go in there and just battle from the first snap to the end.
Coach, who are some of the key players on defense that you're going to be dependent on tonight?
So key player on defense would be defensive tackle Jamarion Wells. He had 10 tackles last week, 4 tackles for loss. Just an explosive body in the middle, and so we're dependent on him to do some big things tonight. Also, linebacker Dominic Robinson. He's a senior, got a lot of experience on the defensive side. So we're looking for those 2 guys to kind of lead the defense tonight and kind of get everybody lined up in all the situations.
And Coach, sum up your offense for me.
So our offense, super young. We got a lot of young guys skill-wise. Our offensive line is probably our more experienced group, but we still starting 3 sophomores in that group. So we're just looking to, find our edge offensively as well and just continue trying to find our identity on offense and kind of figure out what we do best and kind of just roll from there.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time and good luck to your team tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Well, I remember Darrell when he was playing for UAB. He was a captain of the Blazers some 25 years ago. It's back when I was doing the Blazers broadcast. I remember him fondly. He was a great player, and as I said, it'll show you the type of leadership he has. He was the captain of the Blazers back in the early 2000s. All right, let's hook up with Chris Musso. Now, this guy's no stranger to being a head coach. He's been a head coach at Haleyville, John Carroll, and Locust Fork. And our own Chris Osborne caught up with Chris.
Chris Osborne back on the sidelines with the Oak Grove coach, Coach Chris Russo. Coach, you coming in 3-0. What can you expect tonight?
Well, it's going to be a big region contest, and we've got a very tough opponent, and we've had a good week of practice, and so we're looking forward to the challenge.
Tell me about some of your key players on offense and defense.
Well, I think everything starts with your quarterback, Noah Chapman. He does a really good job for us, but it's all behind our offensive line. So they've got to do a good job of getting pad level and playing tough. And so after that, it goes to our running backs, and Wiley Hicks and Ethan Jones and Brooks Coven. They do a good job, so they'll have to play well tonight.
All right, Coach, appreciate your time. We'll let you get to your team.
Thank you.
Back to you guys up top.
Coach Russo has a player, fullback, and running back. His name is Ethan Jones. You remember three-sport athlete used to refer to baseball, basketball, football? Well, this guy's going to include football, but he's got a couple others which might be a little unusual for the norm.
Wrestling, golf, and football. You might be wondering what these sports have in common. The answer, this guy. Ethan Jones, a senior at Oak Grove High School, stays busy participating in a unique combination of sports.
I got football year-round, and then I'll wrestle from November to hopefully mid-February. That's about when state ends. And then I'll golf from right after wrestling until May.
Of course, right now we're in the midst of football season. This sport Ethan's been at for most of his life, getting started when he was just 6 years old. As for wrestling, he picked that sport up in 8th grade. But for golf, it's a different story.
My dad started playing it a couple years ago, and then a couple of buddies of mine started playing. So I was like, I'll go try it out. And I went and played in the summer some, just goofing around. I was like, this is pretty fun.
Fun and challenging, according to Ethan. He took it upon himself to work hard at the sport, and when it was time to show his skills to the coach,
he was like, you're going to be number one. And I was like, okay.
Ethan found success on the course, making it to sectionals. Accomplishments like this, fueled by an impressive work ethic, according to his father, Kevin.
The fire that he has and the want to and the willing to put in the extra time, that's, I don't know, maybe I've got a relative or somebody before me that I don't know about, but I can't take credit for it.
What he can take credit for, teeing up his son's interest in a sport he's grown passionate about. And as Ethan's senior year gets underway, he shares his goals for the golf course and beyond.
Football is to win a state championship with the team. I feel like it'd be cool to bring one to the school. For wrestling, I'd like to win the team state championship. We got second last year. We lost to Tallahassee. Golf, I'd like to qualify for state golfing, because I think last year I came up 2 strokes short, and I think I could qualify for golf.
Chasing big dreams, one swing at a time. For Jeff Coed TV, I'm Emma Owen.
Matchups, first of all, a quick correction. It's Musso, not Russo, Matt. So let's remember that throughout the ball game. Apologies to Chris. All right, here are the matchups elsewhere around the county. Shades Valley's hosting Clay Chalkville. Clay Chalkville's undefeated. So is Corner as they go to Ramsey. Jacksonville at Center Point. And you got McAdory. They're off. McAdory beat Pleasant Grove rather soundly in week 1. Minor is also off. Fultondale at Fayette. Jackson at Gardendale. P.W. Bryant is at Hueytown. Parker is at Mortimer Jordan. And Oxford will be at Pinson Valley. Here's a really interesting story, and the credit goes to the Jeffco Ed TV staff for finding these out. This is a very special young lady and a very special teacher who ended up on the Jennifer Hudson Show.
I was taking up money for all my students in my classroom because it costs $5 for any student to be able to go to the sneaker ball. It's an after-school event, so the parents do have to bring their child to it. And the little girls in my classroom, you know, it's a big deal. They get really dressed up. They're talking about their sneakers and their dress. And one of my students was upset and started crying because she knew that her mom, she had already told her, you know, I'm working that night and I can't take you. The other little girls were talking about their dresses and what their hair was going to look like and all this other stuff. And so I reached out to Brooklyn's mom and I said, hey, I would love to take Brooklyn.
They're excited. Miss Gary told me how to put lipstick on. And we did our hair and we put our dresses on together.
This would be really sweet if I recorded this moment and I can put makeup on you, Brooklyn. And she was like, yes, let's do it.
I feel like I'm a celebrity.
Oh.
I dance with my friends.
Yeah. Name them. Who do you dance with?
Tegan, Malia, and Jamie.
Yeah, you did. They DM'd me on Instagram, And truthfully, I didn't respond for like 2 or 3 weeks. Like, I thought it wasn't real. And then they said, we love your story so much. We would love to fly you and Brooklyn and her mom out to California to come and be on the show. We got to go backstage. We had our name on this little like plaque thing that says like Emily and Brooklyn's. Like when we were walking in there, Brooklyn was like, this is our dressing room. Like, Brooklyn walks down the hallway and everybody wants to give her high fives because Brooklyn's just the most famous person now in Pleasant Grove.
My class made me feel famous.
Fantastic story. Enjoyed that. Jeff Coed TV on the spot with some of his reporting. Hey, introduce my partner tonight. By the way, I guess now would be an appropriate time to just simply say that Scott Griffin is on assignment, and that's why I'm here. But you are not. You're still here. Let's welcome in Caleb Turrentine. Caleb, just give me a thumbnail clip of what you think we're going to see here at Pleasant Grove.
It's a tough one to really try to picture because of what happened last year. You mentioned this series, how dominant Pleasant Grove has been. But obviously this isn't a normal Pleasant Grove year. Where they saw that from week 1 and that loss to McAdory. Responding last week was big for them, though. I think they're ready for a game like this. Region play is extra important. I think you're going to see Oak Grove try to control the ball. How can Pleasant Grove get those big plays that they got to win this game last year?
Well, and to be fair, Oak Grove's not the same team they were a year ago. I mean, this team is 3-0. First of all, let's just start that. They're 1-0 in the region.
Yeah, and they've been doing this on the road. This is their 3rd road game in 4 weeks. They have another one next week. This is an opportunity to build momentum because they get 4 or 5 at home on the back end, and they have eyes on a region title, and that hasn't been done in over 2 decades for them. So this is a big game to get that confidence and have their eyes set on that region title.
With that being said, let's introduce you to the Spartans and the Tigers.
Noah Chapman, quarterback.
Ethan Jones, outside linebacker, running back.
Brooks Coven, running back.
Wiley Hicks, running back.
Casey Gaither, wide receiver.
Anderson Bryant, tight end.
Knox Wilson, O-line.
Brody Fitzgerald, guard.
AJ Thomas, center.
Jack Scott, guard.
Tucker Cook, right tackle.
Dave Morris, D-line.
Tanner Parrish, DN.
Hunter Cook, defensive line.
Jackson Hyde, middle linebacker.
Hunter Brooks, linebacker.
Brock Tuggle, outside linebacker.
Brawley Burns, free safety.
Jackson McKinney, DB.
George Dorman, cornerback.
Wiley Hicks, quarterback.
Hello, I'm Chris Musso, head football coach of the Oak Grove Tigers. Go Tigers!
Sam Blue, quarterback.
James Whitaker, running back.
Winston Johnson, wide receiver.
Amar Peterson, wide receiver.
Javion Field, wide receiver.
Malachi Williams, center.
Dexter Nash, offensive line.
Ron Hott, offensive line.
Jacob Williams, offensive line.
Joseph Rogers, offensive line, defensive line.
Shamarion Webb, defensive line.
Brandon Arnold, DN.
Jamal Grace Jr., linebacker.
Dominic Robinson, linebacker.
Dwight Williams, defensive back.
Kamar Braxton, safety. Taylor Ball, safety.
Darrell Fuquay, Pleasant Grove High School, head coach, brick by brick. Welcome to tonight's game.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at Pleasant Grove, Jeff Coed TV, our national anthem. Pleasant Grove Marching Band. We appreciate. Moments before our national anthem, Pleasant Grove and the entire stadium took time, a moment of silence for what happened yesterday, minus 24 years, and that was 9/11. And here's a special tribute from Shades Valley.
Today we gather not only to remember what was lost, but also to reflect on what was revealed, the courage, the unity, and resilience of the American spirit.
You know, the thing that we want to represent is patriotism, especially for those who died on 9/11. You know, a lot of victims, a lot of heroes were made that day, and I think that this program definitely wants to show its respects to it.
When the attack first occurred and shortly after, it was said that we'll never forget. And it's good to see the youth brought it today, remembering that, ensuring that we don't forget.
Recognizing that first responders who made the ultimate sacrifice and those who continue to serve with courage and dedication.
Thinking about it isn't something that I honestly like doing, but I know that we have to, because, you know, we can't let them just be forgotten. What they've done, what they've experienced, you know, they need to be honored for sure.
What a nice tribute. Thank you, Shades Valley. And it was almost 25 years ago, 24 plus a day, because yesterday was indeed September 11th. I remember the day fondly because Scott Griffin, who's normally wearing these headsets, he and I were on the air. And it was one of our nation's darkest hour. But I will also say this, it was one of the proudest moments I've ever been a part of a broadcast, as we held it together and did, you know, all the reporting going national. And kudos to all those people that were at Cumulus Broadcasting at that time, because in a dire time, I remember it fondly. Do you? I mean, you're a young whippersnapper, Caleb, but do you remember? Were you here?
I was. I remember a little bit about where I was, because I was still at home. I can't remember a reason why I wasn't in school yet.
It was early. I mean, it was before 8 when it happened. So.
Yeah, and ended up just staying home, and you know, I probably took several weeks for me to even really think about what happened, and then obviously several years before really understanding actually what happened and the impact of it, which, you know, unless you were in that moment, I'm not sure anyone could ever fully understand.
Well, I think what's really cool, and it was mentioned about Shades Valley and all these students and these football players that want to remember, they weren't born. I mean, they were far from being born. So there you good look at the Tigers. Now, we watched them a little bit in pregame, and when I was doing my notes, I noticed on the depth chart that there were 3 running backs, starters. I'm going, you know what I immediately thought? Option football. But I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go in a little more detail because we watched them in pregame.
Yeah, we did. It's the formations won't line up like a triple option, or maybe more so the motions aren't like a triple option. You're not going to have the wing backs going behind the fullback. It's almost like they're coming underneath. We saw double handoffs. We saw turn and fake to the fullback and then give it off on a sweep. There's no pitches happening. But it is a lot of movement with the ball, and that's why you heard Coach Musso say that it starts with a quarterback. Even in an offense, this offense, they have, like you said, 3 running backs that have at least 20 carries and 2+ touchdowns this season. And their quarterback has completed 16 passes all year. They have 3 running backs with more rushes than that. So you're going to see a lot of different guys with their hands on the ball, and you know, forgive us if we're a little slow to follow the ball. It can be tough.
They're good at faking,
and that's what it revolves around.
And Noah Chapman's the experienced senior quarterback running this offense, and yeah, I think we get two breaks apiece or something like that on that. I don't know if there's a limit or not, but just the same, it's an interesting offense to run, and I'll bet some of the people watching are going, okay, I didn't know 34 had the football, which, by the way, that's in reference to Ethan Jones, who we saw as the golfer and the wrestler. He's one of the 3 backs that we see in this formation. Now, flipping the sides and going to the home-standing Pleasant Grove Spartans, they have a very interesting situation at quarterback. It's a guy named Tim Blue. who has not played football. I think he played a little middle school, but he's an outstanding athlete, shortstop on the baseball team. But I was watching him in warm-ups. This kid's got a gun. He's throwing 45, 50-yard passes into the end zone.
Yeah, and you might see him throw, and if you're a mechanics person, you might not want to watch it too closely because, again, this is a guy who is used to throwing a baseball, not a football. But you're right. He got out there, and he won the job, and this is a very, very young team. A guy like him, a senior coming in and being able to take on that job was important to this team. He hasn't really done too much offensively this season. Now, granted, they had one game against McAdory where they got blown out, and then they had a bye week, so there haven't been a lot of stats for anyone on this offense, but they're going to want him to be a big-time playmaker. That's what made Darrell LeBeau's Pleasant Grove team so successful, was their ability to make big plays. And that started with the quarterback. They would take a lot of deep shots. They might not complete more than 30% of them, but when they hit, that's a touchdown. And so
well,
I
expect loosens your defense up, too, obviously.
That's what they want from Timothy Blue at the end of the day.
Let's go into the Coach LeBleu thing. He was here for 5 years, I believe, leading up to this, maybe going into his fourth. And he took the offensive coordinator job at Hoover and took the quarterback with him. So, there's a lot to deal with these days in high school as far as the transfer rules and all that. And I'm not going to get into my politics on that, okay? I'm not stepping up on my soapbox. However, it's a different game we play. The game hasn't changed, different personnel.
It is. Some coaches have to learn to deal with, and they're learning as we learn.
Jerome Reed, J.J. Reed, and the purple. Boy, I love those uniforms. These home uniforms for the Spartans, the purple with the yellowish gold trim, solid white breeches, we used to call them back in the day, as the referee is explaining the situation. And we'll try and pick up and see who wins the toss here. Well, kind of hard to hear, so we'll just go by shoulders, as I say. See which one turns and which one gets the two elbows down.
But you don't need to know whether it's heads or tails or who calls it or what happens. You should know who gets the football. You got 2 minutes until kickoff.
What a beautiful evening for football. It's a little bit warmer than the first 3 games that we did. I think it's probably around 86 right now. But the sun is set to our west, and that's very fortunate because it gives us a better vantage point because it was coming right into the booth. But that's neither here nor there. So let's check it out. What do you got here, Caleb?
Looks like Oak Grove wins the toss and elects to receive. They want their offense out there. And we're going to get a look at this option box 3 running back system that they're going to run and see how Pleasant Grove's young team can react to it.
They're in the red pants with the white jerseys and the red numerals and the solid white jerseys. The officials continue to meet. And there's the banner. And which says, tackle the Spartans. And there come the Tigers. Spartans coming onto the field. Nice setting here, isn't it?
It's a little bit different from last year, and again, really just Pleasant Grove teams in the past 5-6 years. They're usually not the smaller team. That's not something they're used to, not only in numbers, but also size. I mean, it just looks like Oak Grove has a depth advantage, a size advantage, and that has not been the case in probably the previous 9 games that these two teams played against each other.
Kicker for the Spartans, Mamadou Berry. What a great name. Wearing jersey number 83, you see at the top right portion of your screen. He will likely handle the punting responsibilities as well.
Pleasant Grove probably won't elect to kick too often. He was warming up, hitting from about 30, 35 yards, had a little extra distance on it. Problem keeping it straight, though. A little bit of left hook, one of those kickers where you just go up and kick as hard as you can. When you're right-footed, it's going to go to the left.
It's like your golf game.
My golf game goes to the right. I don't know.
No,
I can't tell you. I am. Always have been. I just line up, aim to the left. That's the best way to fix it.
Yeah, if you want to keep up with your golf ball. Barry to kick from the 40 as we are at Pleasant Grove on Jeffco Ed TV. The Spartans hosting the Tigers of Oak Grove. There is the kick up back, fields it at the 26-yard line. Makes a man miss, across the 30. Almost makes another man miss. He is pulled down right at the 31, 32-yard line.
Yeah, I saw some Pleasant Grove coaches thinking the same thing I was thinking. I thought a fair catch was called when that ball was up in the air. Refs didn't pick up on it, though. Only made about a 5-yard difference, so no one's too upset down there.
The officials mark it right at the 31. First and 10 Tigers. Noah Chapman is your quarterback. I'm interested to see. Quick snap. Then they double toss it. Going deep. And wide open at the 38-yard line. Almost caught. Knocked away. Great defensive play by Dwight Williams.
That's a little bit of the action you'll see in the backfield, although it didn't look very smooth. They did run a couple of handoffs, and they'll do that two handoff as a run play. That time it was flicked back to the quarterback. A little bit of a bobble allowed the defensive back to catch up with the receiver there. Good play to recover after he was beat. He dove in on the run, and he was beat by that receiver. But a good play to get back and knock that ball out.
So that'll bring up, following the incompletion, a second down and 10, again at the 31. We'll go across the front here in a minute. Looked like movement, no flag. Running left. Down the far sideline, Wiley Hicks, one of the 3 to 6 running backs that we will call the name of, all the way into Spartan territory. Check, the officials are going to mark it at the 41. So you got a 38-yard pickup.
Yeah, that's I think you're going to have a lot of plays where you think it looks like a false start with how the motion happens, now quickly the handoff goes.
28, let's check that. Second man through, handoff left side, fullback bulls his way for 11 or 12 yards and an Oak Grove first down.
And we are 3 plays in. Every running back has touched the ball already one way or another.
Great observation.
And that is going to continue. That's a theme.
They don't waste any time once they break that small huddle. Sweep to this side. Looks like Ethan Jones on the carry. He'll get a couple.
And now all 3 running backs have officially registered a carry as well.
What, so they'll, you think it's the case where they'll all probably get 10, 11 touches per the game, and then quarterback might keep it a couple of times?
I think probably. At a certain point, you think maybe feed the hot hand, especially if it's in a motion or a sweep that the defense isn't picking up on, if you find a weakness. But another reason for that isn't just for confusion. It's also to keep your guys fresh. I know they're out there still throwing blocks when they don't have the ball, but it's to keep them fresh and still be able to run full speed and barrel through some tacklers when they have the opportunity.
This drive started at their own 31. We've got a whistle and a stoppage of play. Now the line of scrimmage is at the Spartans' 25-yard line. The officials are going to discuss something momentarily right there at the 36-yard line. Hey, across the front for Oak Grove, under the direction of Chris Musso, you got Knox Wilson, one tackle. The other is Tucker Cook. The guards are Brody Fitzgerald and Jack Scott. And over the ball is A.J. Thomas. And there's the whistle. And another stoppage in play. Hey, we got a minute here. Let's go down to Chris Osborne.
Ago, and you were wondering what happened. So one of the officials told me that the clock did not start on that first play. So if you see, it just changed from 11:36 to 11:32. So they had to get that clock issue straightened away.
Well, now that thank you, Chris. Now that he's brought that up, have we only played 28 seconds of football?
We've had an incomplete pass, 2 downs that ran out of bounds, and then that one was the one the clock didn't start. And now the whole clock has reset.
Now we've got
zeros.
Zeros. They're going to get that taken care of.
I know we're going to see a lot of running plays, but quarters aren't going to fly by that quickly tonight.
Well, you got to get the clock running. Of course, officials keep one on the field, too, and if worse comes to worse, they'll just go to that.
Usually there's no need for that unless you have a complete malfunction or maybe an outage.
Well, still zeros. Hey, let's take a look at the Region 4 standings in 4A. There you see both 1-0, the teams we're seeing, Bibb County, American Christian. Inside handoff, carrying the football is Wiley Hicks again, his second carry. He's going to get about half of what he needs for a first down. 3rd and a long 4.
Certainly better reaction from Pleasant Grove's defense on the last 2 plays. Almost more misdirection on that last carry. Pleasant Grove's defense stayed put. That's what you have to do. Stick with your assignment. Don't try to follow where you think the ball is, because that's when you lose the ball.
Motion. Wiley again. 20. 15. Down the sideline, we've got a holding flag. That would be my guess as he scoots into the end zone, but Caleb, I believe this will be called back.
Yeah, I think I saw that one as well. And that's a big difference. Not only is that just going to wipe a touchdown off the board, you're about to make this 3rd and much longer than it was at 3rd and 2.
It's a spot foul, right?
Correct.
You got it. Still 3rd down.
It's going to be about 3rd and 8, would be my guess.
Well, he keeps going backwards. Wiley Hicks tosses him the football. Yeah, you're a good marksman. They're going to say 3rd, 5. It's more like 6 or 7 like you spotted. Now they're going to, scoreboard clock going to put it 3rd and 9. We got about 3rd and 8. Substitution for the Tigers. And I believe now we've got a stoppage on the field. Oak Grove may have called a timeout.
It did, and Chris Musso is very much yelling at the head official right now.
He's come out on the field. We'll let them discuss, and we'll take a break. You're watching Jeff Coed TV.
Welcome to Pleasant Grove High School. It's a great day to be a Spartan. Here at Pleasant Grove High School, we are Jeff Coed Strong.
We are all Jeff Coed Strong, Jeff Coed TV Strong. Ball at the 26-yard line. 3rd down for the Tigers. On the move. Quickly to the line, just a one-back set. Well, that may change. Now we've got movement and probably a procedure. They had a lot of men in motion.
And it looks like they were trying to have motion intentionally to draw an offside penalty, but the official here on the near sideline actually is going to call a false start.
Here you go. So now it is 3rd and long. I'll check it at about 3rd and 14 for the Tigers. Backed up to their own 31-yard line.
Penalties will kill
Spartans
you
31.
in any game, but a region game, that's what's going to cause coaches to get upset over there on the sideline. 2 penalties went from a touchdown run to a 3rd and long.
And there's the movement along the front. 2 back set, 2 handoffs. That's Hicks. Turns the corner to 20. Breaks a tackle. Carrying it into the end zone. Did he get inside the pylon? Touchdown, Oak Grove. 28 yards.
Just a little bit of motion throws off the assignment. They had run that double handoff before and didn't necessarily fool the defensive line too much. That time, looks like the linebackers were more thrown off than anything else. Out of position. And once that second handoff was made, there was so much open space. Touchdown run looked easy.
Oh, they fake, go for 2 and get it. They were all lined up on the left hash mark. 3 or 4 Tigers closer to midfield or the middle of the field between the hash marks. And they just snapped it and ran it in.
I don't know how teams are still falling for that. That happens every week in high school.
So it is 8-0 Oak Grove. Clock is functioning perfectly now with 8.5 minutes left here in the first quarter of play. It's a good-looking shot. Nice sunset.
I have to imagine that the clock might be being kept on the field at this point. There shouldn't be 42 seconds left, and it was ticking while the stoppage was happening.
Now it's flipped back around.
And now it's back. They must have gotten a signal.
So it's not working as well as I thought. Pleasant Grove trotting back out onto the field.
7-play, 69-yard drive, just over 2 minutes off the clock. But really, it was 2 big runs. 2 runs accounted for 59 yards there.
Both to the far boundary.
Both by Wiley Hicks.
Braden Parsons, in the middle of your screen. Set to kick off on the whistle. And we've got another whistle.
Usually indicates offside from the kicking team.
Yeah, it means they'll back it up to the 35 and make Parsons' job even more difficult. Well, official will go to the spot, the 40, and move the tee back. We've one of the return men in purple, the Spartans, James Whitaker. Also a tailback, probably will get the majority of their carries. Let's do it again, Sam. Fielded at the 20. Coming our way is Whitaker. 25, and that's about it. Met by Quentin Johnson Jr. Check that, Jonah Fitzgerald, and a few others.
They're going to try to get James Whitaker the ball in several different ways, and it just seemed like he didn't have anyone in front of him. By the time he tried to go left, he had 4 or 5 tacklers in front of him. Wasn't going anywhere, just a 5-yard return.
Now spotted at the 25. Spartans' first offensive set. Look at the quads to the top. Whitaker takes the handoff, tries to cut back, but he is just smothered by Jacoby Williams. Checking that. That's Bain Morris.
Bain Morris. That is quite the name for a defensive lineman with that kind of size, and that's the kind of play you have to make to live up to a name like Bain.
First pass, out in the flat. It's Caught by Jonah Fitzgerald. He checked that. That's Quentin Johnson Jr.
It's a good pickup. You needed that on after gaining nothing. Again, makes it a third and manageable. Good throw. Keep it simple for him.
Out of the pistol. Johnson is the lone setback. Getting the call from Fuquay's sideline. Sales in motion. Inside handoff, and there's a hole. Whitaker across the 40 to the 45-yard line. That burst will give Pleasant Grove a first down.
That's a great run. I love the motion being used. I think they were always running that play. Just a little inside handoff, get Whitaker going. Motion took some defenders out of the middle.
Big hole, too.
Opened up a big hole for him.
Quick pass. Picking up 5 or 6. Closer to midfield. Johnson again, I believe. Let's check that. Javion Sales on the receiving end. Across the front, you've got Dexter Nash, Ryan High, Malachi Williams, Jacoby Williams, and Joseph Rogers. Those are the big guys up front for Pleasant Grove. Nothing going there. May have even lost a half a yard.
It's going to be hard to run between tackles without a hole. Again, you're looking at James Whitaker. You can see he's small. He's also a freshman. Not going to overpower a lot of guys, but he is tough to tackle. So if he gets space, if there is a hole like we saw on that third down, he's going to make the most of it. But there's not going to be a lot he can do once one of those big defensive linemen gets their hands on him.
Cheer corps for Oak Grove. Motion. Rolling right is Blue. He throws. Horse collar down inside the 50 at the 46-yard line. It's Amari Peterson, just a freshman. This is a very young Spartan team.
It is, and that was a great tackle. A little bit, I know, again, you mentioned the young team. Coaches probably thinking that as a teaching lesson. Works to get that extra yard before you try to avoid a tackler. He could have gotten that first down, but a good tackle by Oak Grove.
That'll bring up 4th down and 1 from the Oak Grove 46-yard line. They just need to get exactly to the 45. Blue throws, complete, first down. About the 42-yard line. That was Sales on the receiving end. Blue doesn't play like he doesn't throw the football. Maybe a little awkward, as you said in our pregame, but he doesn't look like a guy that hadn't played football.
Yeah, they're keeping it simple for him. Nothing past really 5 yards so far. Oak Grove, they're allowing it. They give that cushion to receivers on that, even on that 4th and short. He's taking advantage.
Whitaker bobbles a little bit, finds a hole, gets into the secondary. He is brought down by George Dorman.
And that is what he will have goes his way, is that he's smaller. He can fit through smaller holes, and that time it looked like the line was stiffened up. He just kind of popped through. Suddenly a 6-yard gain for him.
Yeah, he's another one of these freshmen. And a stoppage in play and a flag. It's an illegal formation. So instead of having 2nd and 4, it'd be more like 2nd and 9.
And that's tough to get a big first down play like that and be backed up right away. Especially when you have a little bit of momentum, positive play after positive play so far for them.
Williams gets over the football. Blue, your quarterback. Now, it looks to me as though Pleasant Grove has called timeout. And that'll give us cause for the pause on Jeffco Ed TV.
Welcome to Oak Grove High School, where we are OG for life. It's a great day to be a Tiger. Oak Grove High School, we are Jeff Coed strong.
That was a heat timeout, therefore rather short. Whitaker, during the break there, took it up the middle and is about not even a yard short of the first down to be 3rd and 1.
Impressive opening drive for Pleasant Grove. Again, I just said they want those big plays. This is a grind-it-down drive that they haven't had.
And again, the grinder, so to speak, has been Whitaker. He's just a freshman. And you're right. He's a little water broke.
That's already his 6th carry. This is about to be play number 11 of the drive for Pleasant Grove. Another 4th and short.
Coming into the game, he had 26 carries, 186 yards, and a touchdown. So we knew 15 was going to get the ball frequently for the Spartans. The 33, quick pass out into the flat. Makes a man miss, another, and he might have gotten the first down. The pass was complete to Amari Peterson, yet another freshman.
Yeah, that's, again, one of those times. I know you're a freshman. I know you're trying to make a big play. Get me 2 yards. Get up there a little quicker. Don't do as much dancing. I know you're trying to make tacklers miss. It's hard to get mad at a player for trying to make a play, right? But sometimes just make sure you get that first down. I think he was fortunate to get the spot he did.
Whitaker up the middle. Boy, he is met by Tigers right in the hash mark to the near boundary. And I'm not sure he got back to the line of scrimmage. One of the players there to greet him was Bain Morris. The second time we've called his name.
7 carries now for Pleasant Grove. 5 pass attempts. Nothing more than 15 yards, but no tackles for loss yet for Oak Grove. It's been an odd drive, something that you didn't see from past Pleasant Grove teams.
Man in motion, that's Johnson. Blue rolls. Blue throws off his back foot. It is complete to Sales. Sales breaks a tackle, out of bounds, inside the 15-yard line, at about the 13-yard line.
And there's a big play that they have been hoping to break open, run it up the middle, try to get those linebackers to open up a little bit of space. And again, Blue is looking like he's reading defenses and making these throws comfortably like he's been playing quarterback for a while.
Yeah, but you mentioned something a minute ago. They are very controlled in their play calls and passing, which is smart. And you got a guy with his experience. He's a senior, but we'll probably say this several more times if we get a whistle and play. But he hadn't played football. Outstanding shortstop from what I understand.
At the very least, looks like he watches plenty of football. He knows a lot about football with the way that he's played. You're right. I mean, the controlled throws, controlled plays, not having to go to a second or third option really just yet. But you still got to make the throws, make the reads, and he's done that so far, especially in an offense that moves quickly.
Play call from the sidelines. Blue is ready to go. J.J. Reed on the carry. Stops, cuts it back. More Tigers, more Tigers, more Tigers.
Just like that, that's the first tackle for a loss by Oak Grove on this drive. And after a false start as well, they're well behind the sticks at this point.
That's going to bring up 2nd and 16, 17 yards for the Spartans. They just go no huddle, huh? I mean, they kind of group, but not what I call the old traditional. There's a pass that's complete to Quentin Johnson. He's drilled out of bounds, but it's going to still be 3rd and long.
Third and long still, but a needed gain. Again, you don't want to be at 3rd and 15, 16, or a sack or another negative play, get 3rd and 20. So if you're thinking potentially that it's 4-down territory, you just made that to where it's 2 downs to get 11 yards. It's a big 5 yards to get.
So what do you do? Try and get 6 or 7 here? Or
I think so. I think that's what's been open. That's what's been open.
Blue rolls, stops. He's under pressure, and he's going to go down back close to the original line of scrimmage. That'll be 4th and at least 10.
And this is right in the range that we saw the kicker hitting from in pregame and on the right hash, which he did with that left hook that he's had.
I do not see Mamadou Berry coming onto the field. I might guess here they'll try and pull them off. It's 4th and 11 down there. You got the back of the end zone as another defender.
They're just now getting the play call in, and play clock's under 5 already.
Well, they better call timeout. Good observation there, partner.
This has been a big drive for Pleasant Grove so far.
There's Oak Grove.
They've already run 16 plays.
How many of them passes?
7 of them passes.
Wow.
I mean, very balanced. Again, they haven't taken shots over the defense, and I think a drive like this, obviously you want to get points out of every drive, but a drive like this, as long as they don't get down, you could come away with no points and still consider it successful, not just from the movement, but you think that the Oak Grove defense will see these underneath passes. They might start biting at the run a little bit more, and you'll have a chance somewhere down the road to take a shot over the top. But obviously on 4th down, you're going for it. You're not thinking like that. You're thinking we need to get in the end zone.
They've chewed up better than 9 minutes on this drive. Blue, nice protection. Into the end zone, wide open, touchdown, Johnson. Quentin Johnson, the sophomore. Boy, he weaved his way around. Savion Sells, my bad.
Boy, yeah, it looked like almost a blown coverage, a zone coverage that had both a cornerback and a safety go towards the corner of the end zone. And instead of a corner route, he just ran a simple post into the middle of the end zone. And once again, to Blue's credit, it looked like an easy throw, but it was the deepest throw he's made so far, and he made it look easy.
Barry with the extra point. 2 really good drives by both Pleasant Grove and Oak Grove, but via the 2-point conversion, it's an 8-7 lead. Why don't we take a break as you watch great Jefferson County football on Jeffco Ed TV.
Certainly we need more drivers, but we need folks more than that who want to make a difference.
It's the best job in the world. Bus drivers are doing a tremendous job in receiving kids each day with a smile, sending them home each day with a smile, making a difference in their lives.
Most bus drivers are there to invest in the children as well as to gain an investment for themselves. We're excited that you're interested in being a bus driver trainer. The potential is great about changing lives.
Touchdown Pleasant Grove. It all started at their own 25.
17 plays. I don't know if we have a sponsor for Drive of the Game, get a car dealership or something to give me that, but that's the one might win the entire season. 17 plays, 75 yards, 9 rushes, 8 passes.
Barry kicks, fielded at the 10, out to the 20, breaks tackle at the 25-yard line, out across the 30. On the return, that was Brawley Burns. There's Burns. He just took it and went along the far ash line. You know, the easiest distance between 2 points, running north and south. Ball will be just inside their own 31-yard line. Noah Chapman, the senior, breaks the huddle. Motion. Inside handoff. He'll get a couple at left end. You really got to keep an eye on that football when this team moves.
You're thinking the job is difficult for you from up here. You think being closer would be easier, but I don't think it is any easier with that defense. It's a struggle, especially when they have a couple of these stops, 2 yards, 3 yards, and then you think you have it figured out. Next thing you know, they have a 20-yard gain again, and it's tough, especially on the linebackers. You're trying to see through that line of scrimmage.
And off, left side, that's Hicks again. He scored a touchdown on the first drive.
Looked like an illegal shift. I don't think everyone was set. I think that's what was being called in the back. It was thrown as pretty much right away as soon as the ball was snapped. again, Oak Grove sideline not very happy with a flag that is going to push them back a little bit.
Yeah, they've had some untimely flags, but yet they've overcome them.
Yeah, already 4 penalties for them.
Yeah, the big one was on an apparent touchdown, but they ended up scoring anyway. 34 seconds remaining here in the first quarter on Jeffco Ed TV. We'll go to 2nd and 15, 14. Line of scrimmage just inside the 27-yard line. Out of the huddle in a hurry. Second man through, big hole. That's Ethan once again. Ethan Jones, the senior. He got enough for the first down. Look at that hole.
Yeah, I kind of thought he was going to keep going straight. I don't know if he thought he had a better chance of getting to his own sideline there. But a big-time run. They're going to want to get him more involved.
And that is the end of the first quarter of play here at Pleasant Grove. Oak Grove is leading by a score of 8-7. We'll take a break here on Jeffco Ed TV.
Hello, Jeffco Ed family. I'm Dr. Beth Miller, Director of Child Nutrition. This school year, we are thrilled to offer free breakfast and lunch at no cost to all students enrolled in in-person learning. As a community eligibility provision district, we encourage all families to take advantage of this opportunity. Our child nutrition program is devoted to providing healthy and nutritious meals to help fuel our students for a day of learning and growth. From crispy Crispitos to fruits and vegetables, it will all be available for free. If a student would like an extra item, those may be purchased. Again, we encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity so we can continue to provide in future years.
Well, we've played 12 minutes. They put another 12 on the board here in Pleasant Grove. The Spartans trailing 8-7 to visiting Oak Grove. And Oak Grove, Caleb, is starting to put together one of those drives.
It kind of feels like it's going to be that kind of game. Team that can get a stop can really grab some momentum.
You mentioned that Oak Grove had thrown a total of 16 passes in 3 games, a little over 5 passes.
Completed 16, yeah. That's,
they hadn't thrown one yet, have they?
Their first play, the trick play, was a pass attempt. And
yeah,
since
it was
then,
an attempt.
It has been run, run, run.
Bouncing outside. Carry inside the 50. That's Wiley Hicks, who's gotten the yeoman's share of the carries. He has run out of bounds. See, they're going to mark it at about the 43-yard line.
I'm a little surprised to see this late hit call.
Yeah, I never saw a flag, but of course we're really close. It was blocked by the players, but
I certainly think maybe technically he was out of bounds, but all the momentum was carrying over there. Players were on the sideline, though. That was a close call, not a very strong hit. No one on the Pleasant Grove.
Speaking of sideline, here's Chris Osborne. And there he goes. So it's a first down following the penalty to the Pleasant Grove 32-yard line. That's Jones right inside a great block on the corner. He's still on his feet, down to the 20. Rolled close to out of bounds. That's a 12-yard pickup and a first down for the Tigers.
You can start to see a little bit of frustration sneaking into that Pleasant Grove defense. And maybe it's following the ball. Maybe it's the fact that Oak Grove's offensive line, again, has a little bit of size on. Maybe it's the struggle to bring some of these running backs down. But there's definitely some frustration looking to the sideline, wondering Well, what are we supposed to do to stop this right now?
A little bit of motion on Hicks, and there's a flag. There you have it again.
It's their 4th procedure penalty on 2 drives.
The other was a hold that got a touchdown called back, which they eventually scored anyway. But I guess this play was so much motion, 3 running backs. Here we go on 1st and 15. Not much there.
First time that Pleasant Grove's defense has had a tackle for a loss. There is an illegal shift here, but don't be surprised if this one is declined. I think you take probably 2nd and 15 over 1st and 20.
Dominic Robinson, the senior linebacker, on the tackle. I think you made a good call there, Mr. Turrentine.
First time that Pleasant Grove's defense is really stacked up at the line of scrimmage. And again, when you're handing the ball off that quickly and that closely to the line of scrimmage, even a good play is still no gain. Might not even go down as a tackle for a loss. But you'll take that.
2nd and 15. Major shift from left to right on the far hash mark. 2 handoffs inside. Huge hole on the run and strolling into the end zone for the touchdown. Wiley Hicks, his 2nd of the night.
Yeah, I don't know if Pleasant Grove needs to find a way to spot that early on, because once they do that double handoff again, it's everyone is shifted and no one comes close to him. He has the hole, the blockers are there, and again, it's Hicks making it look easy, his 2nd touchdown run of the game. Maybe a little bit of talking to Pleasant Grove sideline too, as the Battle of the Groves might grow a little bit fiercer if this game stays competitive.
Tigers went for 2 successfully. Their first score, the extra point attempt by Parsons, is up and good. We have 3 possessions and 3 scores. That'll make it 15-7.
If there's anything positive for Pleasant Grove from that drive, is that Oak Grove's defense did not get to sit on the sideline very long. They were out there for 8.5 minutes. And now they have to get back out there again. Maybe Pleasant Grove's offense can take advantage of that, but that's a big response from Oak Grove after the 17-play drive from Pleasant Grove. Oak Grove being able to take back momentum just like that on just 5 plays.
10:45 remaining in the first half of play. Parsons lines the ball up. He'll kick for the Tigers.
An update from Legion Field, where 3-0 Corner is playing Ramsey. That game is tied at 7. Obviously, Ramsey 0-3. They've played Clay Chalkville, Parker, and Briarwood. So that's a much better 0-3 team than most 0-3 teams. A tough one for Corner, but that could end up being a big win for them. They beat Ramsey last season, end up leading to that region title for the Yellow Jackets.
Parsons will kick. Return man to 20, runs into his own man, and then he's going to go down. Forward progress will be somewhere around the 21-yard line. I'll tell you what, you're talking about Clay Chalkville. We've only done 4 games, but they're the best team we've seen.
They are, and the difference was they looked like a team that was in mid-season form in week 0.
Right.
And their coaching staff will probably tell you otherwise because they have high expectations. But that first half of football against Hueytown that we saw looked like they were ready to play in the postseason right then and there, and that was August.
Fry at quarterback and Barber at wide receiver. Left side, bullying his way across a 25-yard line. Perhaps a 4-yard gain. That's Whitaker once again. On the tackle is Wiley Hicks.
Whitaker's 8th carry, 9th touch, as he did return that opening kickoff.
Little movement along the Oak Grove front. Got back, no flag.
Must not have crossed at all.
Looked awful close.
That is a flag in high school ball. You can't cross at all, even if there's no contact.
Blue throws, far sideline. That is complete. Complete pass to Quentin Johnson.
I'll be surprised if Oak Grove doesn't one of these time go to jump one of these short routes. As Blue has yet to have to go to a second receiver. But again, maybe that touchdown pass, they think we're going to sit back and not let them beat us with a big play. But eventually, you have
Trips to
make
the
a move.
bottom, excuse me there. Handoff left side. That's probably Whitaker once again. He might have gotten a yard. 2nd and 9. Blue and Whitaker in the backfield. Blue to throw. Looks deep. Now he is taken down from behind by Brock Tuggle. Well, Blue never saw that coming, did he?
He didn't. That's the first time he sat back in the pocket. You saw him kind of pump fake a little bit. His first option ended up not being there. Fortunate to hold on to that ball. When you're pump faking, someone comes from behind, that could easily knock that ball loose. And now a big 3rd and long.
Big play. Pleasant Grove would like to answer. Under pressure. Blue bails on the run, throws on the run, past the far sideline. It is caught. Well, the official first looked like he was going to spot it for play around the 45. We'll look here.
Boy, that's a good-looking throw on the run. Good job of breaking that pass up. I think ultimately made the difference.
Yeah. Here's the punt. Rolls inside the 30, down to the 25-yard line. The Spartans will mark it there, and Oak Grove will have the football 1st and 10 with their 3rd possession of the game. As you see on our Jeffco Ed TV Game of the Week bottom of the screen graphic, Oak Grove on the road, 15-7. And we'll remind you probably a couple more times in this game, but these two teams have met 9 times, and Pleasant Grove has won 9 times.
I don't know if you're a fan of numbers. Timothy Blue completed his first 9 passes until that last incompletion. So maybe the 10th time is the charm for Oak Grove in multiple ways here tonight.
Okay.
Is that a reach?
No, it is not a reach at all. Hey, Pleasant Grove athletes, they give back to their community. In August, football players as well as the cheerleaders, band members, other athletes volunteered for the Valley Creek cleanup. Yeah, some kudzu. School says this year they want to put the Grove in Pleasant Grove, the Grove in Pleasant Grove. Growth, respect, opportunity, vision, and effort. I think I drove past that on the way in.
Tell the work they put into it, and it looked good.
Yep.
Always forget driving through Pleasant Grove. You're driving through some nice neighborhoods, some homes, and then suddenly there's the giant high school.
Yes. Beautiful, too. Of course, Pleasant Grove has had its share, too many, of tornadoes. This stadium was built right after the one in 2010. Right side handoff, nowhere. In fact, losing yardage. A terrific play by Dominic Robinson, the linebacker.
Yeah, that's a play that they have been waiting for, and you could tell they were a little bit slower getting the blocks out, and Robinson was able to jump on it there. Slipped through a hole.
Thought he lost more than that.
One of the guys that the coach pointed to before the game that they needed to make plays on defense, the other one being Jamarian Wells on the defensive line.
Back to pass. Noah airs it out incomplete. over the 50-yard line. His intended receiver was Hicks.
That's a good job by Pleasant Grove secondary. I think they're going to trust that front 8 to make stops in the box and just tell those cornerbacks and that one deep safety to drop back and don't let anything beat them over the top, which I think has hurt them in stopping the run game. But they were ready for that one, and again, makes it a 3rd and long.
Well, when they throw deep, huh?
Kind of blindly.
Yeah.
He was certainly covered and over the top of him there.
That was double coverage. Chapman wants to dump it off. The screen incomplete. Pass was intended for Jeremy Coven.
Boy, that's one of those plays. Jamal Grace there, number 19 for Pleasant Grove. He was kind of caught between two minds. The smartness in him said, I need to make sure to make this tackle on 3rd and long, get a 4th down. But you could see he wanted to go after that ball. And if he had gone at it a little bit harder, he could have intercepted that ball. You see him kind of jump up and down. He was anticipating that play well. Still a big stop for Pleasant Grove to get the ball back.
Yeah, they have yet to stop Oak Grove. This is their first and very good opportunity. In fact, they're going to boot it away on 4th and 11.
That was, in fact, Oak Grove's only just their 2nd 3rd down of the game. They converted the first one for a touchdown on their first drive.
Dorman is back in punt formation. First, a word from our penalty. Back it up 5. Make it 4th and 16.
6 penalties now on Oak Grove.
Coach Fuqua. A little bit of a high snap. He handled it. Boy, that's pretty good pressure on the punt. Ball bounces high, then a big roll for Pleasant Grove down inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. So, getting touchdowns. Now we had 2 consecutive possessions by each squad where they had to punt the ball.
And Pleasant Grove probably won that battle of field position.
Yep.
With the shared punt, so that's a win for Pleasant Grove sideline. Still down just the 1 possession. The 2-point conversion always makes it seem like a little more than it actually is. But big opportunity for the Spartans to get some momentum before halftime, especially if they can put together another 8-minute drive, 7-minute drive.
4 receivers to the bottom of your Jeff Coed TV screen. Whitaker gets the carry, might have gotten a yard. On the tackle, Connor Brooks.
Credit to Oak Grove's front. I know we've seen a couple of plays and a good night for James Whitaker so far, but 6 of his carries are for 1 yard or less.
Wow.
So that's he's broken a couple for over 10, but they've held him in check.
Quick pass, far sideline. Complete, 40, 45. Did he stay in bounds enough to get to the 50 and a 1st down? On the receiving end, that was Javion Sales.
If I was waiting,
1st down.
If I was waiting for the whistle, yeah, I thought he got it, but now the chains are moving, even though the ball was spotted at the 48. And now they're going to have to take some time to figure out this chain situation. It's going to be 3rd and 1.
Well, it is not a 1st down. They're moving the sticks.
Looks like they got it figured out down there.
And did so quickly. Thank you. Well, I thought they did so quickly. They're standing over the ball.
You have to get that marker just right. That's why you have someone down there marking it on the chain, so you can line it up with the outside of one of the 5-yard marks. You never know when you might have to measure.
Blue, snap, Whitaker, and he is stopped up behind the line of scrimmage. He lost a yard. Crashing through again is Connor Brooks.
Yeah, I think that's a play that you got to be a little bit more creative on. I know it's third and short. You think you got the first down already, and then you try to get almost too simple. But that's been the third and fourth and short play call. I would be surprised if Pleasant Grove goes for this, but right now the offense is still on the field.
Maybe the last stand with Oak Grove gave him a little bit more confidence in the defense. I, too, Caleb, am surprised. Trips to the bottom. Rolling is Blue. He throws. Incomplete. That pass was intended for Quentin Johnson, the sophomore. So, great field position for the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, I get going for it from the sense that you've had a lot of 4 or 5, 6-yard passes that have worked consistently in this game. But again, and that one was there. Yeah, you can't really be upset with the play call because the pass was there. It just short-armed it a little bit, made it just tough enough of a catch, and was dropped pretty much right at the first down marker. If you had come up with it, I know every coach is going to say, you get 2 hands on the ball, you got to make the catch.
Yeah.
But that was a tough catch to make.
Spartans are gathering during our heat timeout at the 5:50 mark. Hey, next week, what do you say we go to Pinson Valley? All right. That will be our Jeffco Ed TV game of the week. Shades Valley at Pinson Valley. If this is a battle of the Groves, I guess that's got to be the battle of the valleys. So you can watch it live right here on Jeffco Ed TV. So, following the heat timeout, they're going to have to adjust the sticks as you see at the top of your screen. That's what they're doing. It'll be 1st and 10 from the PG 45-yard line.
Yeah, by far the best starting field position for either team in this game.
A.J. Thomas over the ball, snaps. That's Jones right side. First down, out of bounds. He's hit at about the 30-yard line. A hit made by Dominic Robinson. He's got a handful of tackles already here in the first half.
Yeah, another big run. That's why I'm a little surprised they went for it on 4th down. I know you're looking at it, and obviously hindsight's 20/20 and all that, but you're giving an offense that relies on the run a shorter field, and it's much easier to string together 45 yards of runs than it is 80 yards of runs.
16-yard carry. Now they go back to Hicks, and he'll get about 4. Third down, second down for the Tigers. As Chapman runs from the sideline with a designed play from Chris Musso. Right side, that's Jones trying to get outside. Can he turn the corner? Yes, he does. Not going to get the first down, but he's going to make it third and awful short.
Yeah, good stiff arm there on the edge. Allowed him to create just enough space to out-sprint some of the defense to make that from a 1-2 yard gain into a 6-yard gain, which again makes it third and much, much more manageable, especially for a team that has been tackled behind the line 1 time tonight.
Yeah, this offense moves the ball forward. Third and a little bit more than 1. Now they went to a true 3-back set. Jones breaks a tackle and then scoots out of bounds. See where they mark it, whether or not it'll be 1st and goal.
Well, definitely want to get Jones more involved. He's been a little bit more heavily involved since that opening drive. I know they want to have a lot of his effort and stamina on that defensive side of the ball as well, but he's increased carry. He's been their leading carrier over the last 2 drives.
It is 1st and goal from the 9. Left side handoff, knifing through. Wiley Hicks fumbled the football. It is picked up by J.J. Reed. J.J. Reed coming up the near boundary. He's at midfield. He's going to cut back. The 40, the 35, dragged down from behind at the 32-yard line. Oh, it looked like Hicks was going in for the score, and then suddenly that It went in reverse.
Boy, that is a game-changing play. You're thinking of going up 2 scores, and now suddenly not just a turnover, but a long return to get into good field position. 4 minutes before the break. Boy, you know he's sitting there winded thinking he should outrun him, but give credit. Give credit to Jeremy Coven, who ran him down to make that tackle. That ball looked like it just popped out of Wiley's hands.
Did he get stripped a little bit, or did he just lose the handle?
I'm not sure. It looked like he just kind of lost the ball.
Chapman, a quarterback, got down there, and he disrupted it and turned it back inside so that Jeremy Coven could make the tackle. And there's a bit of a discussion on the field. The men in stripe. Possible ball position. Looks to me like it's going to be right at the 30. Are they going to tack on a penalty?
I thought I saw them discussing a penalty down where near the fumble happened. I don't know if there was a personal foul call, but that is a 15-yard penalty, which in turn is also happens to be half the distance to the goal.
Well, as long as it happened early in the play, even when he scooped it up, they're going to tack it on. Half the distance to the goal and 15 yards, both in this case. From the 15, Blue, hands off, Whitaker. Boy, he is hit down hard by Wiley Hicks. He plays a lot of football, doesn't he?
Let's say Whitaker, for a guy who I continue to say might be the smallest guy out there, he's taken a lot of hits, and he seems to always be the first guy up as well.
You see Burns walking through your screen. He contributed to the tackle as well. And we've got holding against Pleasant Grove now. Well, 4:24 remaining here in the first half, so still plenty of time for the Spartans here, but what a changer. Yeah, what a momentum changer and a field position changer and a football changer. Possession. We got another flag down here, Caleb.
They're giving an offside call on the offense.
I didn't think
came from the far sideline. And you can hear the Pleasant Grove fans echoing what I'm sure is coming from the Pleasant Grove coaches. Now suddenly you have that pick return, that 15-yard penalty, and now you're in 1st and 25. That can take away a lot of momentum.
Yeah, and it totally changes your playbook.
Eventually you might have to take a shot deep when you're 25 yards away.
Well, he did once, and it was in the back of the end zone for 6. Blue fakes, and he's going to go into the end zone again. Looking to the far side, inside the end zone, but out of bounds. A nice catch by Amari Peterson, another freshman, but he was clearly out of bounds.
He was. We'll get a good look at it. And to what you said pregame, it's a good deep ball. Just that right foot that had come up might have been halfway in bounds, but the left foot was already down on the ground. Clearly out of bounds and into the white.
So, that'll bring up a second down in 25 from the 30-yard line. And another stoppage of play. This time, timeout, Spartans. And I believe that will be their final timeout of the first half. 2 remaining for Oak Grove. 3:56 remaining in the contest. They're always a lot more fun to do when they're close. And this has been a close football game from the absolute outset.
Yeah, the 3 drives we saw right away for 3 touchdowns. And then thrown for a loop a little bit on defense, and then the fumble. I think the only thing that could clean it up was a few of the penalties that we've seen that slowed down both teams.
Yeah, we have seen a lot of yellow flags. So, you got Darrell Fuqua in the middle of that with his offensive coordinator. See what they've dialed up on 2nd and 25.
Do you have a section in your playbook for 2nd and 25?
Well, I say get half of it, you know.
I mean, that's why I was a little surprised by the first down call. But, I mean, he was there. It was a good throw, just a little bit out of bounds, taking a deep shot. But I don't think he can do that 4 times and just hope.
Well, he is back to pass, and he's looking deep, and he's chunking it deep. He's got a man wide open in the back of the end zone. Did he get his feet in bounds? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Quentin Johnson Jr. for Pleasant Grove. 2 deep balls and nice ones from Noah Chapman, the senior.
Almost the same route.
How'd he get that open?
Boy, back judge nearly great job of getting his feet in. Had to start stuttering a little bit to make sure a foot got in. I think he ended up getting both in and avoided the umpire. Great throw, great catch, and hey, what do I know? Take a shot every time. If it's why not?
Oh, extra point, hit the top of the upright, and it bounced away. The holder, by the way, was Quentin Johnson. Caught the touchdown, went back, handled the snap. So, 15-13. That's not a score you see every day.
Yeah, that's, again, I understand it's too early to be chasing points, right? But thought they'd go for 2.
We'll take a break here. It's 15-13 Oak Grove on the Jeff Coed TV.
Certainly we need more drivers, but we need folks more than that who want to make a difference.
It's the best job in the world. Bus drivers are doing a tremendous job in receiving kids each day with a smile, sending them home each day with a smile, making a difference in their lives.
Most bus drivers are there to invest in the children as well as to gain an investment for themselves. We're excited that you're interested in being a bus driver trainer. The potential is great about changing lives.
Following the Pleasant Grove kickoff, Mamadou Berry will kick. Up back at the 25, spinning around is Brawley Burns. He's the up back they want to kick it to.
Yeah, and maybe it has more to do with who they have as a gunner on that near sideline right there. Great play by Mari Peterson. He's got the speed to get down there, and by the time he caught that ball and looked up, Peterson was in his face.
Again, he's just a freshman.
Something that will be said a lot through Pleasant Grove season this year.
Yes, it will. They're really not playing like freshmen or a first-time ever quarterback. Handoff left side. That looks like Jones again. He'll get 3. He is pounded down. A pack led by Taylor Ball. And it'll be second down.
Yeah, it looked like almost one of those plays where they said, you know, we haven't done a fullback dive in a while. Do one of these, and maybe once again, that's the kind of play that'll open up some of these sweeps, double handoff motions that they run.
Yep, too quick to the line of scrimmage. Might have been movement on behalf of the Tigers. That may back it up to a 2nd and 11. We'll see.
They got 12 guys out there, and no one has come off the field yet. They better get somebody off the field. Boy, it's not often you get 12 guys out there and no one notices. Except for the ref. No one on the coaching was yelling at someone to get off. They just didn't realize it.
The other way. Sweep. That's Jones, I believe, cross midfield, rolled up there. That was Ethan Jones, the senior running back. And now Oak Grove is on the move at the 250 mark.
It's Jones' 5th carry of at least 10 yards.
Good stat, my man. He's a little bit of a load. They may have given it to him again. He got 2 inside Pleasant Grove territory. Yeah. He could have been Colvin on the carry, but
That one was Colvin. Colvin's usually going to line up in the fullback spot.
right.
Again, he's the one that chased down that what could have saved 6 points. Ended up Pleasant Grove scored anyway. But chased down a fumble recovery 60 yards.
2nd and 8. This one is Jones. Jones breaks a tackle inside the 45, down close to the first down marker. He's going to be about a yard or two short.
That's a good tackle, being able to come over and hold up before you can get some help over there. And again, you can talk about Oak Grove's size and what they have. Probably an advantage on most of the players over on Pleasant Grove, certainly Oak Grove's running backs. You have to tackle by committee. Those arm tackles and try to solo tackles is the reason they've broken free.
Tigers need a yard. Left side, they've got a yard and then some. That's Hicks, who's already scored 2 touchdowns, and he runs out of bounds inside the 30, but we have a penalty marker on the play. Could be a hold.
Yeah, it was on the 35. It was over on the edge. Looked a little obvious. I don't know how much it impacted Pleasant Grove's defense not being able to get to Wiley Hicks, as we've seen several times.
Oh, sideline
Wow.
warning. Well, that's good news for Oak Grove.
Well, I have to imagine that came from Pleasant Grove's sideline wanting the hold that I thought I saw.
Okay, makes perfect sense to me. But while they throw a penalty, there's no distance here. It is indeed a warning. Right side, Jones trying to get the corner, following the block of one of his linemen. Ooh, he is slammed down inside the 20 to 17-yard line, but he got a good portion of the first down yardage needed. Bring up 2nd and 7.
Yeah, really a first big hit laid there by Pleasant Grove's defense, and maybe the first time that we've seen Ethan Jones actually feel it a little bit as he walks off for a break, which I imagine many people would need after playing the amount of downs he does.
Whistles at the line of scrimmage. That'll blow the play up. We got offsides against Pleasant Grove. That is an untimely penalty, to say the least.
Looked like it came from the substitution. Someone was trying to run off the field here, and as I understand it, there was not. I mean, Oak Grove subbed somebody out. The refs should have allowed Pleasant Grove to sub out. Maybe they just weren't going quick enough.
Well, first down from the 13. Inside handoff. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage, you think?
And that might be the first time Oak Grove's going to have to start thinking about using some timeouts. As this clock goes under a minute. And they're just running the ball. That's why the clock can get away from. But as you mentioned, they have some timeouts left to play with.
Yeah, they got a couple. It's under 30 seconds. Maybe we're just playing for the field goal.
Expect
I
a
don't
double
know.
handoff maybe.
Right side. They're going to have to burn a timeout here. Play got a couple.
That was the 4th running back to carry the ball. As Cameron Crump actually had that carry.
Oh, they're going deep.
Certainly hope that's just maybe a one-time thing and nothing that Ethan Jones might be shaking off more than just a little bit of a stinger on that last play that we saw.
So, Oak Grove spins one of their timeouts, so they'll have one left. As you look at Coach Fuqua. Pleasant Grove in purple, and there you see the Tigers. Red pants, white jerseys. Facing a 3rd and 8 here.
The play that they've gone to on 3rd and a little bit longer situations is that double handoff. This is a big play, though, because remember, Pleasant Grove will get the ball to start the second half.
These 3 shift from left to right. Man in motion. They're going to pass. Lobs it into the end zone. Incomplete. Chapman might have put a little bit too much on it, but then again, there were a lot of purple jerseys over there.
Yeah, read well by the Pleasant Grove defense. There might have been a little bit of a shove with that ball in the air. but you're not going to get a call with that ball overthrown like you mentioned. They are going to bring out the kicking unit, though.
That'll be Parsons. Kason Gaither was the intended receiver, the sophomore. So, well, they've got a tee.
Oak Grove just 1 of 3 on third downs. That was just the third time they faced third down.
It looks like the place kicker is Caden Watts. High snap, good hold. Kind of a knuckleball, but it went through. So, Oak Grove adds to their 2-point lead. And it's 17. Let's make that 18-13. As Oak Grove is taking a 5-point lead with 10 ticks left here in the first half.
Yeah, that's a big stop for Pleasant Grove's defense, who, I mean, that's one of those times where you know it's a little bit of bend, don't break. Look, going into the half, you know they're going to run out of time eventually. But Oak Grove was moving the ball well, and then 2 tackles just within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage, and that incomplete pass. That's a big stop for the Spartans. Have a little bit of momentum, keep this thing at 1 possession. And again, they will get the ball to start the second half.
Whitaker and Johnson are deep. Place kicker is Parsons. Kick pretty deep. The line drive. Taken back at the 10, twists him around to the 20. Running room. Johnson spins around, still on his feet. Then he is brought down by Kason Gaither. And they're just going to let it roll from there. Pretty good first half. 18-13.
I think both teams have a lot to be happy about in this one, but I think both teams are also going to feel like they could have a little bit more on the scoreboard, especially Oak Grove. So I think they probably think that they could have a lead with that fumble at the 4-yard line and then coming up short there at the end of the half as well.
Chris has Coach Musso.
Coach, close game, close as you imagined when we talked pregame?
Yes, absolutely. We expected a 4-quarter game, and it's been all of that.
Coach, what are you going to have to do to finish this thing out?
Well, we're going to have to cut down on some of the passing scores that they got, and then we've got to make sure we cut down our penalties. If we do that, we'll be okay.
All right, thanks for your time, Coach. All right.
Thank you, Chris Osborne. We've got halftime coming up here at the Grove. In this case, the Pleasant Grove. We'll get to that, the bands, and our intermission. All right. Instead, how about we just go straight to the bands? First up will be the visitors. That's Oak Grove. Then the homestanding Pleasant Grove marching band.
Hi, I'm Aubrey.
And I'm Lily.
And we're the drum majors for the 2025 Oak Grove High School Marching Band. Our 2025 program is titled Loretta. It features the life story of famous country singer Loretta Lynn.
This show represents the hardworking miners in our community in Oak Grove. We hope to see you at the show.
My name is Erin Green. My name is Kendi English, and we are the drum majors for the Pleasant Grove Marching Spartan Band. We're performing the Michael Jackson Show. Love Never Felt So Good, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, Leave Me Alone, Lady in My Life, Ghost, Rock With You, Remember the Time, and Chicago. We hope you enjoy our halftime show.
Nice job by both the visiting band, Oak Grove High School, and homestanding, you see it, PG, Pleasant Grove. Good job at the half. Caleb does a great thing during the half. He decides to go out and get other Jeff Co-Ed TV teams and come down with some numbers. Throw them at me.
Yeah, we can find as many as possible, right? And Clay Chalkville, obviously undefeated, number 1 in 6A. They have a 29-0 lead over Shades Valley at halftime. Tough one for the Mounties to stay close in. Hueytown looking for their first win. They're a little bit down here. They lead Bryant 14-7 at halftime. Jump back up there. Corner Ramsey is something that I mentioned early on. That was 7-7. Ramsey now leads that one 21-7. Yeah, and that's undefeated Corner and winless Ramsey. But maybe the best winless team in the state, probably the best winless team in 5A at the very least. Fayette County leading Fultondale 38-0 at halftime. That's a tough one for Fultondale. Centerpoint down 14-0 to Jacksonville. And Mortimer Jordan only down 14-0 to Parker. That one's at halftime. 14 points is a big deficit, though, when it comes to Parker's defense.
Parker's
score
pretty
on
good.
them.
Yeah, you're right.
But you got to respect the fight for Mortimer Jordan tonight, only being down 14, 2 touchdowns at halftime. So those are the scores that we were able to track down for you. If we keep seeing more, make sure to keep you updated, especially on that Corner Ramsey, as I know that's a big one people are keeping an eye on tonight.
Hey, let's break down what we saw in the first 2 quarters of play here from Pleasant Grove. The Oak of the 2 Groves. There's the Oak and then the Pleasant. The Oak runs the ball, to set up the run. And as a consequence, they grind it down the field. On the other side, Pleasant Grove has hung in this game with deep balls into the end zone, 2 pretty long passes.
Yeah, and Pleasant Grove has done it in a way where they have been patient on their drives. I mean, obviously that one came from the fumble recovery, being behind the sticks, and the second one kind of they were just able to go over the top. But that first drive was 17 plays, 75 yards, just really, really impressive to be able to get it done and then be able to go to the air when they needed to. That was beyond more of those 5-yard, 6-yard out routes that they had done. And we talked about Tim Blue. We talked about his background, not being a quarterback, not playing football that much. And he come out and he's certainly looked like the best quarterback in this game. He's 11 for 14 passing. You can say that a lot of them are underneath, but they've been able to do it.
Let's go to the sideline. Chris Osborne has Coach Fuqua.
Hey, Coach, you're only down 5. You're still in this thing. What are you going to have to do to try to get back on the right side of the scoreboard?
We got to get, just got to finish plays. A lot of good plays right there, but we just got to go finish drives on offense, and then on defense we got to make plays, get off the field on third down, and then a tougher team gonna win the second half. So I believe we're ready to go.
All right, Coach, I'll let you get back to your team. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Back to you guys upstairs.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Coach. The more I see of Coach Fuqua, the more I remember him back in our UAB days. Quick, fast DB. Really, really good player. And he was a captain. And anytime I hear that of a player, I just associate that with character.
And one thing that I will say about defensive back as a head coach, I mean, obviously we can talk defensive back coach becoming a head coach, Nick Saban. We're not going to go that far just yet. But I've been impressed by Pleasant Grove's defensive backs for the sense that Oak Grove is going to run the ball. They're not hiding that they're going to run the ball. But Pleasant Grove's defense hasn't just dropped back or hasn't just come forward and allowed any ball to go over the top. Noah Chapman still doesn't have a completion in this game. They've tried to go over the top multiple times, and Pleasant Grove's defensive backs. That's out of how many passes?
Excuse me.
Four passes.
Yeah.
But there's been a couple of plays I felt that were well-timed in passes that maybe a defense wouldn't see coming, and Pleasant Grove's defense was ready. They have a good coverage scheme. They just have to figure out a way to make it work while also stopping the run.
Teeing up the ball for Oak Grove at the 40-yard line. Braden Parsons. Well, actually, they may be using their other place kicker, and indeed they are. This is Caden Watts. So he'll kick it deep. Whitaker and Johnson are standing one hash mark at the 11 and the other hash mark at about the 11. And we're about to get the third quarter play underway. Battle of the Groves here on Jeffco Ed TV. Oak Grove won the toss, elected to receive, and drove it 69 yards for a touchdown.
And as a reminder, this isn't just a close game or a rivalry game. These are two teams that started 1-0 in conference play.
Yep.
You have Pleasant Grove, who just won the region title a year ago, and Oak Grove, who hasn't won a region title since 2001, and they really think that they can do that this year.
We're going back to last year. Both these teams went to the playoffs. 8 and 9 win seasons. But particularly with Pleasant Grove, transfer caught up with them.
It did, and that's going to happen sometimes. And I think you see that in the roster now, that there's so many young players out there playing. But I think you also still see the fact that there was a culture here of players that wanted to play football, talent that wanted to come out and play. And we're seeing a lot of that talent still, and I think they're going to be in good shape as long as they can keep everyone playing.
Watts with a straight-on end-over-end kick. It is fielded by Whitaker, who will get it to the 20-yard line. He's met by a host of Tigers, and that's where Pleasant Grove Spartans will have the football.
Again, Whitaker being the first one to touch the ball. No surprise, and he's going to hope that he'll get a little bit more yards, but expect them to keep going to him heavily in the second half. So he had 13 carries in that first half.
Yeah, plus he's a return guy. And you're right, you can see him at the top, kind of the middle left-hand portion, next to Blue, who takes the snap. He wants to throw, our sideline. Really nice play. That's collected by Javion Sales. It's a good first down, safe pass.
It is. It's a long pass to get it out there, but that's a good throw. Sometimes you think that much air yards just for a 5-yard gain. But again, that's what's worked for this offense.
Give them 5 on the nose, 2nd and 5. Quarterback keeper as they go to a backup, Michael Foy. And we got a flag. Foy does not get much. In fact, he may have lost a yard. Foy was the designated starting quarterback coming out because he had experience. But man, that just goes to show you even more how impressive Blue is. As he's taking over. Significant penalty coming up here. on Oak Grove, and that's the big one. Did you see a personal foul? Or?
Yeah, I thought there might have been a hands to the face kind of penalty. I even saw an Oak Grove player apologize, actually, to one of the Pleasant Grove's offensive linemen, so maybe that's what ended up being the call.
Okay. Well, that would get you 15, wouldn't it?
Musso said at halftime, we heard him, got to clean up penalties. Right out of the gates, a 15-yard penalty.
Whitaker up the middle, finds a little running room, across the 45. Boy, he just lunges forward for a couple of more yards, and I'll bring up a second down, about 3 for Pleasant Grove.
Does kind of get the sense that when Whitaker gets 5 yards, it makes it look like he's working hard, and it's like 10 to 15 yards. And then when Oak Grove gets 5, Pleasant Grove feels like it's a stop. It's a
very well put.
Different kind of offensive feel.
You know, I understood that 100%. Quick throw. That's Foy back in quarterback. Maybe Johnson on the far boundary. Might have been a late hit. He rolled over the top of him. Could have been Sales. It was Sales, and he's going to come off. Checking in is Caden Sanders.
And a little intrigued by the quarterback change as we see Timothy Blue down here on the sideline with the helmet in his hands.
It's not like he did poorly. He had 2 touchdown passes. There's the deep ball. Johnson can't get to it at the 21-yard line.
Boy, I like taking a shot there on 3rd and short, and they had it.
Well, that pretty much tells you what they're going to do on 4th, doesn't it?
I think so, too. I think you're right. This is the same spot on the field that they went for it on 4th down earlier that nearly turned the game into a 2-possession lead for Oak Grove if it wasn't for that fumble at the goal line.
Quick pass over the middle. It batted.
It's a pooch punt.
It was not very poochable.
Well, you might as well just go for it at that point.
Well, with the end result being back at the original line of scrimmage, you are 100% correct.
Pleasant Grove offense has struggled with one thing, and that's 3rd downs. They did convert 3 4th downs on that opening drive, but they are 1 of 7 on 3rd downs.
This is truly where Pleasant Grove was just a minute ago. That's Jones breaking outside, 45-40. He's got room down 30, 28-yard line. Goes Ethan Jones, and he's got to be close to 100 yards. I'm not trying to jump on your stat sheet, but that was a 20-plus yard gain.
Yeah, that was 21. That is his 6th 10-plus yards carry of the night. Offense has been moving the ball with him taking the majority of the carries over the last few drives.
Chapman hands off. This time it's Hicks. He's down inside the 15-yard line. As the smaller of the backs, the more cutting back, who has 2 touchdowns, gets down to the 14-yard line. 1st and 10, Tigers on the move, their first possession of the 3rd quarter. Jones, it looks like he's going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage, and he's just got a great lane. Falls forward for a couple.
He is now up to 110 yards. That was right on the nose. You said that last run put him at 100. Put him just over that mark.
Got him in motion. Handoff, 2nd man through. Is that Brawley Burns on the carry? He gone to another running back? No, that was Colvin.
And they have not completed a pass tonight. They've only attempted 4. But if they have the lead and they can run the ball like this, there will be no reason for them to complete a pass for the rest of the night.
3rd and 1. Oak Grove at the Pleasant Grove 5. Left side, barely touched. There goes Hicks for number 3.
That, again, we don't know what happened on the sideline with the quarterback change for Pleasant Grove, but it really felt like that shifted a lot. Pleasant Grove getting the ball, down by 5, having a chance to take the lead for the first time tonight. And then a pooch punt that was straight into the back of the offensive line, short field for Oak Grove, and then an easy drive for the Tigers to extend this to their biggest lead of the night.
Caden Watts straight on, high snap, gathered in. Extra point attempt is up, and it is good. And now it is a 2-score game, as Oak Grove has taken a 25-13 lead. 8:33 remaining here in the third quarter on Jeffco Ed TV.
Hello, Jeff Coed family. I'm Dr. Beth Miller, Director of Child Nutrition. This school year, we are thrilled to offer free breakfast and lunch at no cost to all students enrolled in in-person learning. As a community eligibility provision district, we encourage all families to take advantage of this opportunity. Our child nutrition program is devoted to providing healthy and nutritious meals to help fuel our students for a day of learning and growth. From crispy Crispitos to fruits and vegetables, it will all be available for free. If a student would like an extra item, those may be purchased. Again, we encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity so we can continue to provide in future years.
Watts kicked off to Pleasant Grove. The return, and Whitaker is angry, injured, maybe a combination of the two, because he got to the 25-yard line, 24-yard line, and I believe he's a little banged up. He took a pretty good hit. That's not normally what I would do if I took a pretty good hit.
That shows me a kid who wants to get back into the game, get treatment as quickly as possible, and then get back into the game.
Now, Foy is still at quarterback. The entire first half, it was Tim Blue. Foy wants to throw, looks to this sideline. Pass dropped by Peterson.
Yeah, you can just sense a shift in this game right now. Energy, body language. I know the scoreboard obviously as well, now being a 12-point game. But Pleasant Grove needs a big play to happen for them to get back in this game, to have some confidence, as we continue to see Timothy Blue is standing with the offense, but with his helmet in his hand, not looking like he's expecting to go back in this game.
You've got to wonder if he got banged up here earlier in the third quarter. It's a pick pass. It was Peterson. He dropped the ball. It's picked up, out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Trying to pick up who got that football. Is it Jackson McKinney, one of the DBs?
I think we can watch this replay. You can see contact made, forward progress. I am stunned that play was not blown dead before that ball was stripped away.
Tuggle ripped it loose.
And you can see some of the Pleasant Grove coaching staff getting onto him, as we saw 2 Pleasant Grove players after that play take their helmets off and slam them on the ground near the end zone. This one's getting away from the Spartans a little bit.
Yeah, Fuquay's not going to put up with that. Under center, 2-point conversion. Jones walks in right side, great blocking on that side of the line. And he just waltzes his way into the end zone, and this one's getting away in a hurry.
Yeah, someone else other than Wiley Hicks has found the end zone now.
Yep.
And probably a deserving touchdown for Ethan Jones with the game that he's had.
Yeah, and he was featured in our pregame. Not only does he play football, but he's also an avid. He plays on the golf team and he plays on the wrestling team. They're going to try 2 again, and they get it. Just snap it straight to Hicks, and he only had 1 blocker, but they only had 1 defender. So he just dove right into the end zone.
I think that's one of those plays where Oak Grove kind of senses a little bit of blood in the water, and they say, let's go after them as much as possible. And I know it's just 1 extra point, right? But that can really set back a defensive mindset and really an entire team, and we're seeing it on the sideline and feeling it over here in these stands right now.
Well, Oak Grove has come out here in the third quarter and scored quickly twice in less than 4 minutes, and they now have a 33-13 lead. I did not see this coming.
This is a second half that we were talking about how Pleasant Grove has been able to move the ball multiple ways. They were getting the ball to start the second half. And you're right, we're not even 4 minutes into the second half, and it's gone from a 5-point game to a 20-point game.
Of course, turnover and a really bad punt had a lot to do with it, but you don't take those away.
Hey, Oak Grove has taken advantage of the mistakes early on here in the second half. They're more of a reason that this game has been extended, the lead has been extended, than Pleasant Grove's fault it is.
Looks like Oak Grove was offsides. And they'll back it up with 35 and do it all over again. Interesting thing about Caden Watts. Band's jobbing. Watts, if you'll watch him here in the kickoff, just can't remember the last time I've seen a straight-on kicker, even in high school.
Yeah. No counting off the steps necessarily. It's just go and kick it.
Well,
it's like kickball almost.
It's pretty. And they're pretty good kicks, end over end, usually around the 10-yard line. Oh, that's a line drive. Hits at the 10, up, has to be fielded. Coming out with it. That's Johnson. Tries to get the corner. He's got the corner. The 30, he pushed out of bounds inside the 35-yard line. And a nice return by Quentin Johnson, the senior.
They're going to get a blindside block call there. And the Pleasant Grove sideline isn't very happy about it. I'm not sure I agree with it either, as I think he ended up getting to the front of the defender. And you can't control which way the defender's looking to make it a blindside block or not. But it certainly wasn't any kind of block in the back, and it wasn't high. And that's what it is, a blindside block.
Well, they were going to have pretty good field position, but that's a spot foul, right? So they're going to move it back.
Half the distance.
Inside 10, no, right at the 11-yard line, I believe. Oh. Times are tough right now for the Spartans, homestanding Spartans, Pleasant Grove, who have not lost in this rivalry ever. 9-0. Now Blues back in. Throws far boundary. That's Sales. Tries to make a couple of men miss him. Does not. He gets a yard. You have to explain this quarterback situation to me.
I wish I knew. I think if Blue is available to play, I don't know why he wasn't in on the last two drives.
Well, Fuqua may have seen something in one of the plays and said, I don't like that. Maybe get a different look from the sideline.
And I also think that, if it's sending a message.
Great pass, Sales. First down. Now, a pass like that where you're running towards the line of scrimmage and your feet are moving and your arm is cocked and you throw, that was a perfect pass.
It was. And he's shown the ability to throw on the run. Again, and we don't know why the decision was made. We don't know what coaches saw. But you do kind of feel like at the end of the night, especially if Pleasant Grove can't come back, that might be a decision that gets some regret.
They're going to set up the screen. Is that Whitaker again out to the 25? No. That's Dejon Tuggle. And now we've got a little activity down around the 10-yard line. And a flag, by the way, more important.
Looked like a pretty big block as he was blocked to the ground.
Personal foul. Boy, it is just not going the Spartans' way, is it?
I thought it was going to be a holding call for the block that was made. That is, it didn't even feel like a full second between the end of the play and the Oak Grove player being taken down for a personal foul to be called on that.
That'll back them up all the way to their own 13-yard line. Motion for the Spartans. Blue's going to keep it, trying to find some running room. Cuts back. Nice gain of about 10 yards. And a late hit, I believe that number 50 was pushed over. Dexter Nash, if we get it on the replay, I think he's actually the guy that fell on top of Blue, but somebody in white. Check it out, Caleb.
Yeah, good run from Blue. Again, first time he's really been able to get loose here. Fine tackle. Yeah, you see a late hit coming in there at the end, just before the replay cut off. That's a good call. Again, it's always the last guy with a push, right? There's a little bit of pushing there, nothing too big, but when you come in from 10 yards away with a little bit of speed and shove somebody over, you're going to be the one that gets called for a foul.
Pleasant Grove. A little bit of shift in the momentum here, which has all been Oak Grove here in the third quarter, and we're right at halfway through. Whitaker, the little man, trying to churn forward. Boy, there's some power in those little legs. He got 4 yards.
That's actually Tuggle again as well. Wonder if Whitaker is still, see Whitaker actually still down here on the sideline. Wonder if that hit on the kick return, and now Tuggle's down.
Left ankle. Could be a cramp, but he has not played a whole lot. Not that that always leads to a cramp or not. So, second down and 6. Pleasant Grove with the football, but they're trailing 20 here on Jeff Coed TV. Quick pass, incomplete.
Yeah, that's the first time you've seen Oak Grove's defenders jump one of those short routes. And it looked like Blue went to throw it thinking they weren't ready to jump it, and he tried to pull it back last second. Kind of just fell out of his hands.
Looked like Bain Morris may have gotten a paw on it.
Which might have been a good thing for Pleasant Grove, as two defenders were ready to jump that pass.
That's a good point. In motion, Sales. They're going to throw over to him. Makes one man miss, but he tripped him up enough to hold him to a, what did he lose? He lost 3.
That's the 10th reception of the game for Sales, the first one that has gone negative yardage. Now Pleasant Grove's in a situation. They've gone for on fourth down from here multiple times. But this
is fourth
almost
and 9.
feels like desperation mode.
Yeah, 5 minutes left. I don't know if you push the panic button. No, they're going to try and quick kick it again. That doesn't look like it's going to be very successful as it bounces back. Oak Grove's favor, and the line of scrimmage will be ahead of the original line of scrimmage as far as the Tigers are concerned.
Yeah, I think I don't think there is a way to.
Blue's down.
Yeah, he got hit really hard on that punt. I think Pleasant Grove's sideline was wanting a roughing the kicker. I don't know if you can get one of those when you're a quarterback and it's a pooch punt.
Not when you originally set up for a run, and he moved a little too. So I think there you kind of lose the roughing the kicker call. Hey, next week, let's load up the Jeff Coed TV team and let's go to Pinson Valley. Home of the Indians against the Mounties of Shades Valley. You can watch it right here with our fantastic crew on Jeff Coed TV. With the injured player, we're going to take a break here on Jeff Coed TV.
Are you ready for a fun-filled journey through some of your favorite stories? Join us with Jeff Coed's Storybook Adventures. From the inspiring Let the Children March highlighting Black History Month, to the heartwarming friendship between Maddie and Sophia in Maddie's fridge, and the spooky thrills of Jasper the Rabbit and Creepy Carrots. There's something for everyone. Dive into the magic of reading with us. Perfect for pre-K through 3rd grade adventures. These stories are read by members of your very own Jeff Co-Ed family. You can tune in right here on Jeff Co-Ed TV or our social media.
Tim Blue, Pleasant Grove quarterback, jersey number 3 in purple, is still down. And when you go through your commercial break and they're still down, that gives you more than cause for a little concern.
And Blue had just come back in on that drive for the first time here in the second half. And when things have started to go wrong, they've really kind of avalanched here for Pleasant Grove. James Whitaker also went out earlier in the drive. We even saw backup running back Dewan Tuggle go out with looked like a lower leg injury on that drive. It's going to be a hard one for Pleasant Grove to swallow. And again, it's still 17 minutes left in this football game, and 3 touchdowns is by no means insurmountable, but you get the feeling in this game that Oak Grove is in complete control, and they're about to have their 3rd straight drive start from Pleasant Grove's side of the field.
Yeah, good news is you can hear the applause as Blue has come to the sideline.
And he's walking off under his own power, and that's a good sign.
You're right, Oak Grove is in control, 33-13, but you tack on another score here if you're the Tigers, and wilder things have happened, but that fat lady's somewhere warming up. Again, we got 5 minutes, 4:57 remaining in the 3rd period. Another stoppage in play.
It's 12 men on the field again for Pleasant Grove.
Boy, those are the kind of things that just drive a coach absolutely bonkers.
First play out of a timeout as well. First play of a drive.
True. All right, from the 33. There goes Jones. Breaks outside. We've seen him do this all night. Can he get to the pylon? He did indeed. 33-yard touchdown run as Oak Grove's senior running back, Ethan Jones, he's coming right at you.
Yeah, you saw a couple of lead blockers that he followed behind. They barely even had anyone to block. Got touched there at the end. Great camera work.
He's deceptively fast. I thought the DB could draw a line on him.
Oh, he's got the long strides, too. He looks like one of the taller players out there. Certainly got strength.
Extra point attempt. Could be Hicks. The extra point attempt is up, and it is good. And Oak Grove is piling it on now, 40-13 at Pleasant Grove.
Yeah, we've said that this has gotten out of hand in the second half. That's also 3 consecutive plays that Oak Grove has scored on. 3 consecutive offensive snaps that they've scored on.
And as impressive as that is, unfortunately for Pleasant Grove, they've helped them a lot.
Short fields, by all means.
A couple of bad punts, turnover. And this is not the Oak Grove team that has been playing Pleasant Grove over the last 9 meetings.
No, and obviously credit to the Tigers, and also would be remiss to say it's not the same Pleasant Grove team.
No.
And we've talked about how young they are, and again, with a young team, when things start to spiral, young players are probably not going to react as well as a team full of seniors and juniors. So I think we've seen that a little bit here in this 3rd quarter. That doesn't mean that they won't respond for the rest of this game or for the rest of the season by any means.
Johnson darting around, not going to advance the ball too much further as he is down at about the 28-yard line. So let's see if Pleasant Grove can't put something together, Caleb, because they have got to.
This ball has not been on the other side of the 50-yard line this entire second half.
And as a result, they have the same digits as they did going into the locker room. So it's 40-13. That looks like a weary football team, to be very honest with you.
And I think at this point, you have to, you're on that sideline, you have to say, don't worry about the score.
Exactly.
Because even if you do get a chance to come back in this game, it has to start with one.
Foy scrambling. He almost just takes a knee. He goes down at the 25. That'll be a loss of 4. Michael Foy is now in at quarterback for the injured Tim Blue, and he is just a freshman. If you look at their roster, you see a lot of FRs.
You do. And it's even more so. I mean, you can look at the roster and see a lot of them, but even more so when we're out here calling the guys that are making the plays and that are getting the ball. It's a lot of freshmen that they are relying on.
Snap. Whitaker twists to get another yard. He'll return to the original line of scrimmage, but it'll be 3rd down. 3rd and 10 for the Spartans.
It's good to see Whitaker get back in there after he went down, missed the last series.
Lost your entire starting backfield there for a few plays.
Kind of bobbled that ball. Good job of getting it back when he got hit.
There's Connor Brooks.
Again, a late whistle allowed that play to go on maybe a little longer than Pleasant Grove's coaches would have liked.
Foy wants to throw a dart out of bounds at the 35-yard line. That pass is called by John Jones, a sophomore. Dorman runs him out. 4th and 4. Pardon me, it's 3rd. Let's get the down right. Well, the down marker has 4.
I believe that's
now
right.
Now it is 4.
And
okay.
This will be a punt. Just step back a little bit further.
This time they did so cleanly. That ball bounces inside the 35 down to the 31-yard line, where Oak Grove will have the football again. They've scored every time they've touched the ball here in the second half.
Yeah, and not only that, they've scored on 3 consecutive offensive snaps, as I mentioned. So there's not a lot I saw from Pleasant Grove's defense on the last play, and maybe some energy is needed, or else this could be 4 consecutive plays.
Well, you know, I'd take that bet, though.
And again, we can talk about Pleasant Grove and looking a little bit lackluster in the second half, but Oak Grove has to be able to take advantage of it, and they've done that so far.
Under center, handoff, right side, getting a couple of 3, and we got a flag. Ball carrier, Cameron Crump. I believe that's his 2nd carry. He had one down towards the goal line in the first half. Holding on Oak Grove.
We'll see if getting behind the sticks ever forces Oak Grove to attempt another pass, which they have not done so far in the 3rd quarter.
Well, they don't really need to with a 27-point lead and control of the game, both on the scoreboard, on the field, and with momentum. Left side carry, might have gotten a yard.
Looked like a little bit of a busted play. Chapman turned to hand the ball off, and no one was there. It's the first time we've seen that happen to this Oak Grove offense.
It's a fun offense to watch. Come out and watch them play. Watch the Spartans play.
I think if you're Pleasant Grove fans and you're watching a run and seeing that clock go down, I don't think you're having very much fun right now.
No. Quickly to the line of scrimmage. And we got another whistle. Timeout. (40-13), 2:03 remaining in the third quarter. Time to take a break on Jeff Coed TV. Back, Pleasant Grove. You see at the bottom of your screen there, it was a one-score ball game at the half.
It's not.
No, it has been all Oak Grove. We've got another whistle. Check the flag here. That's a procedure against Oak Grove. That'll back them up 5.
Now, penalties are going to frustrate a coach at any time, but you have a 4-touchdown lead. You're trying to run some clock. You're trying to run the ball. Those are the penalties where the coach says, we have an opportunity to put this game on ice right now. Let's not get into 2nd and 30 when we should just be able to handle this and get a win.
That's almost where they are. 2nd and 25. Handoff. Big hole. I believe that's Crump again. And he gets he gets close to half or more of it back. He might have got 15 yards on that carry. Line of scrimmage. Right at the 30-yard line. Be 3rd and 10.
Ethan Jones up to 164 rushing yards, pair of touchdowns.
Oh. Collared down is Hicks. And we got a late flag. Looks like Brandon Arnold II might be guilty of a little roughhousing.
I think that had more to do with the emotion he showed after a tackle and getting up
right.
than any actual contact. He might have pushed him down a little. Again, quick with the flag. By no means is Pleasant Grove in a position to say that these flags have made a difference in this game, but I could understand both the frustration with the officials and the frustration with how this game has gone here in the third quarter if I'm on the Pleasant Grove sideline.
Well, Oak Grove was deep in their own territory. It was 2nd down and 25 just a couple of snaps ago.
And that was a stop on 3rd down. They had him stop, and that was about to be 4th and 9 or so. I've only seen Oak Grove punt once tonight.
Well, they won't be punting anytime soon here the way they're able to move the ball, and Pleasant Grove has been helping them. Well, there's a stoppage of play, and I could not tell you why.
I have 2 refs in the Pleasant Grove huddle. No one spoke to the Oak Grove huddle, which, again, another reason I could be frustrated if I'm a Pleasant Grove coach. I feel like you want both teams to get the same talking to.
Well, there's a motion against the Tigers, I believe.
This might be a 4-touchdown game, but at this rate, we might be lucky to get out of here at 11 o'clock.
Well, let's hope not. There's a shot from across the way. Oak Grove High School cheerleaders. I know one thing earlier this season. I saw Oak Grove play baseball. Man, they had a good team. BTU town. There's a few on the gain, getting close to the line of scrimmage with 30 ticks left here in the third quarter.
That should do it for that third quarter as well. I imagine Oak Grove won't want to take a snap with the play clock running down.
Yeah, the play clock more time than the game clock. So we're going to the end of the third quarter, and this third quarter was absolutely dominated by the Tigers of Oak Grove. And going into the fourth quarter, they'll have a 40-13 lead here on Jeff Co-Ed TV.
Hello, Jeff Co-Ed family. I'm Dr. Beth Miller, Director of Child Nutrition. This school year, we are thrilled to offer free breakfast and lunch at no cost to all students enrolled in in-person learning. As a community eligibility provision district, we encourage all families to take advantage of this opportunity. Our child nutrition program is devoted to providing healthy and nutritious meals to help fuel our students for a day of learning and growth. From crispy Crispitos to fruits and vegetables, it will all be available for free. If a student would like an extra item, those may be purchased. Again, we encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity so we can continue to provide in future years.
We begin the fourth quarter of play. Oak Grove with a football and a 27-point lead. They run a play at left end. I'm waiting for the change to show me. They got a couple. Starting to see some twos for the guys in white.
Yeah, I expect, unless this game gets a little bit closer, the way they run the ball, expect to see a couple of new players get some carries. Again, still 0 for 4 in the passing game. I think we undersold it when we said how much they would run today.
But you said coming in, they had 16 completed passes?
16 completed passes through 2 games. And they had 3 running backs, or through 3 games. And they had 3 running backs with at least 20 carries.
It's not far off, except the big 0 in completions.
And tonight they have 2 guys with 14 carries apiece, obviously being Ethan Jones and Wiley Hicks. And those 2 have combined for 309 yards.
Yep, and we have a penalty on Oak Grove. That'll back it up.
That's the only thing that slowed them down.
Yep. Particularly here in the second half. Ball's at the 43, Tigers with the football. And off his side, he broke it open across the 50 and into the secondary, carried by Cameron Crump in Spartans territory.
Yeah, we might have seen the last of Wiley Hicks and Ethan Jones in this one.
Yeah.
Well, Jeremy Coven, the fullback, is still in there. He's only had 6 carries tonight, but he's been a lead blocker several times. And again, made a terrific chase down tackle. Roughly 60 yards from where the fumble happened to save a touchdown earlier.
Right up the gut, leaps over a man, breaks outside. There's Hicks. He's back in. Twists to the 35-yard line, and a first down for Oak Grove.
Yeah, I think he maybe wanted 1 or 2 more carries. Maybe wants to get to, you never know,
Maybe
career high, another
somewhere.
touchdown.
He's down at the 35, and one of his teammates, in this case Jack Scott, was pulling his leg like it was a cramp. And isn't that what they're doing down there?
The way that he was pointing to it and got his helmet off, I think that was a cramp.
Well, and you could understand that. How many touches, how many carries is he got?
That was carry number 15.
Okay.
Coach coming over here just to make sure that's all it is.
Hey, you looking for a new professional home? Jeff Co-Ed could have a spot for you. We're always looking for hard-working folks to join the work family Jefferson County. To view current openings and apply, just head over to jeffcoed.com and click Careers. Take part in a career that is both rewarding and has the ability to change a young person's life. Click Careers. There you go. All right. Boy, he got over to the far sideline in a hurry. So, Oak Grove with the ball at the Pleasant Grove 36-yard line. 1st and 10.
We still see Noah Chapman out there handing the ball off, and I think we see the entire starting offensive line, who maybe we haven't talked about enough, but I do think we have a new backfield outside of number 31.
And there's a break outside on the loose inside the 10, dancing the sideline. Touchdown Oak Grove, 35-yard score. And that was the fullback Colvin.
He said he wanted to get on the scoreboard too. All 3 running backs that we talked about before the game now have touchdowns.
What a stiff arm.
That looked like a fullback. He said, you might catch me, but once you get to me, I'm going to be ready for you. And he was.
Well, Oak Grove has turned this into a full blowout. Whether or not they go for 2 here or just kick. That one must have gotten blocked. All I could see is trickle into the end zone. So something went wrong for Oak Grove here in the third and fourth quarters.
Yeah, and for the Tigers, that's not going to change too much as they extend the lead. 384 rushing yards, 6 rushing touchdowns, 0 passing yards, 0 passing touchdowns, in case you were wondering on that front. We haven't seen a pass from the Oak Grove offense in an hour and a half.
No reason to air it right now. Oak Grove came into this game 3-0 and certain to go 4-0 and also go 2-A and R4, Region 4. But I think the big number that will be discussed in the locker room is these guys beat us last year 41-7 for the 9th straight victory. There will be no number 10.
And obviously looking maybe from our perspective, it's not necessarily, I mean, the score might be stunning with how it's happened here in the third quarter. From the outside, you think this is a different Pleasant Grove team. It might not mean the same. It might not be as impressive. But for that Oak Grove sideline, they've been waiting for this. They've been wanting a win like this. Last year, they thought that they could be in that game more than they were, and Pleasant Grove was able to run away with that game in the second half. So, and again, Oak Grove style of offense, once they start running the ball, once they get behind, it's hard to catch up because they're a running offense. So that's what happened last year, and this team had been waiting. I'm sure this game was circled even this early in the season, and to be able to improve to 2-0 in region play, I know you still have a couple more wins to really feel good about it, but they kind of feel like one of the favorites to win this region title.
From what I've seen, I think they ought to be able. Pass by Foy, late flag, most likely be pass interference. He was tossing in the direction of Amari Peterson, the freshman. It looked to me like good play by the DB, but I am not nearly as close as those guys are.
Yeah, I probably saw it the same way you did, and honestly, Pleasant Grove sideline's probably sitting there thinking, you know, thanks for the flag. But
yeah.
Might be a little late.
It looked to me like he broke on the football very well.
And Musso was thinking the same thing. Pleasant Grove's receivers, they all kind of stalled with little button hooks, and then no one moved for a couple of seconds. That made things difficult for Michael Foy.
Yeah.
Okay, Musso
How about a timeout?
Still wants an explanation.
You don't stop coaching, do you?
He certainly doesn't.
Timeout. Chris Musso.
First here of the second half. They have 2 remaining. Pleasant Grove, should they need them, has all 3 of theirs remaining.
Update on that game at Legion Field. Ramsey with a huge response and a needed response for a desperate team, but a tough night for corner. Ramsey now leads 34-14 after a 100-yard pick 6.
100. You don't see those very often at any level.
That's how you change a game. Corner, I was about to make it 1 possession, and it goes pick 6 the other way.
Boy rolls, throws, incomplete. He took a pretty good lick. Helmet on the ground.
He'll have to come out for a play. And
let's see what, does Blue come in? Yeah, he's
coming in. I don't know if Coach is going to let him.
No, let's see. Nah, put him right in. Who knows, he may stay in. Clock stop following the incomplete pass. Be 2nd down and 10. Pleasant Grove trying to show a little moxie. Get a few more points on the board. There's the inside handoff. Goes absolutely nowhere. Might have lost a yard. It was likely Whitaker on the carry. And it was. Nope, they went to their second running back. That's Tuggle. So, actually lost a yard. 2nd and 11. And following the 1 minute the 1 play mandatory sit out, Foy is back. He drops. He wants to throw. He does. Over the middle. That is complete to Javion Sales. Big gain down to the Oak Grove 30-yard line. Foy threw a dart.
That's a good-looking throw for a guy who'd been sitting on the bench, and again, shocker, another freshman quarterback being able to make that throw. Step into it, realize how much space his receiver has, just let it float in, make it as easy of a throw as it looks.
And yet another catch for Sales. Going to throw deep inside the 5. Whether he inbounds or not.
Looks like he didn't come up with that one.
Well, that would explain it.
Nearly dropped right into the basket there. He's being very casual about that ball. It's a good-looking pass again. And hard to follow a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's a good ball to the pylon. That's where you want that throw pretty much every single time.
It's tough to look back over your shoulder into the lights, catch that ball. Although, great touch by Foy. He'll remain in out of the shotgun formation. Takes the snap. Moves to his left. He's going to throw deep. He's looking in the end zone again. Again, he looks for Sales. Again, it's broken up.
That's a good play by Sales. Kind of turned into a defensive back there a little bit.
Oh.
Knocked it right out of his hands. That's a good play. He wanted that interception. That's one of the only things that Oak Grove doesn't have tonight when it comes to positive plays for the Tigers. Is an interception.
Burns had it right there in his grasp. So, back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 10 from the 32. Pleasant Grove trailing 46-13. They'd like to get into the score or two. We're under 9 in the 4th quarter. Foy rolls to his left, throws. Johnson is open to the 20, tries to make a move on the corner, does not. That's Hicks. And we got a flag.
Again, that's less of how hard it is, how late it is, and just more how unnecessary I think it was. And consistent with what they called earlier on Pleasant Grove. So while I might disagree with it, I guess consistency is what you ask for the most when it comes to officiating.
At any level.
Yeah.
Basketball, baseball. And, you know, you make a good point, Caleb. They have been consistent.
First update from Pinson Valley and Oxford. That game is tied at 21 in the third quarter. Pinson Valley, a different team this year.
Well, and Oxford went into that game 1-2, which is very unusual for that storied Yellow Jackets program.
I know they don't have Mason Mims anymore at quarterback, but they do have a Mims. I know it's his younger brother that is now taking over that quarterback role while Mason Mims is up in Louisville.
1st and 10, and yikes, another flag.
You can almost see that what was going through Jackson Hyde's head when he tried to jump that snap, and when he realized it wasn't happening, he knew he couldn't stop himself. He just kind of strolled through the line of scrimmage like, yeah, that's a flag. That's going to be on me.
I'll take that one. A lot easier to take up.
Oh, yeah.
46-13. Boy, looking in the end zone. Has time now. He's got to roll. Scrambling. Right side. Looking into the end zone. Throws. Now, there you go. You got your interception as far as the Oak Grove stats are concerned. That was picked off by Kaysen Gaither.
Yeah, he's going to want that one back. Look, this is a great shot. 18 is sitting in the corner of the end zone. His defender leaves him. He's wide open back here, and Foy just didn't see him. Ends up trying to throw across his body instead. And John Jones is sitting there right next to our camera saying, I wish you had thrown that ball to me. I would have been open enough to score. Looked like that was actually Ethan Jones on the interception.
I think it was. I was starting to check all over my rosters. And well, he does play linebacker.
He does.
But I thought he had seen his playing time on offense. I guess not on defense.
Let's see if they let him get a couple more carries with the starting backs this close to their own end zone.
Yeah,
maybe
you don't
get
want
a
to
first
turn
down
over.
or two, and then go from there.
It looks like Colvin and Hicks, the starter. Hicks gets the carry, and he is almost – he got out of the end zone, but barely.
And I remember the full ball has to come out of that end zone.
Yeah, I think Grace had him wrapped up for PG. I was a little surprised that Jones ran it out. Or maybe he just kind of fell out.
Yeah, it was like momentum. I'm not sure. And he had space to run out.
Yeah.
Either he stumbled or tried to decide last second not to run out, and then it just, at that point, his body was outside the end zone. Nothing they could do about it.
Yeah, there's Colvin. He breaks a tackle, gets out of, moves the ball out to the 10-yard line. That's the most important thing for Oak Grove right now.
Yeah, and as much as they would love to have the clock running, making sure to get yourself some breathing space was also important.
Yes.
Because you got to think 2, 3 first downs. Now, you think that with Oak Grove's offense, and they break a 50-yard run, but starting a drive from this far back with 7.5 minutes on the clock, could see them milking this clock away.
Hicks with a nice cut back to the 15-yard line. Took a couple of purple jerseys down with him.
I'd be a little surprised if we see much more of those starting backs as they're starting to milk the clock a lot more. Well, for now, Hicks has stayed over there in the game, and so has that starting offensive line. I don't know how much longer Chris Russo is going to let that run, especially with on a hotter night, you see players cramping up and getting hurt the way they have tonight.
To the line in a hurry, snap in a hurry. There's the handoff, breaking into the secondary. That's Hicks again. No, that's, believe it or not, that's Evan Jones. No, Colvin. They do have, let me tell you something, in all defense of myself, they have a large house full of running backs. And there you see it.
Hey, we tried to warn y'all early on that we might get some wrong tonight. And I think we've done a pretty good job.
Well, okay.
All things considered.
Yeah, that one I ended up calling 3 different running backs, so I'm going to throw a flag on me. Does get them into the down to the 49, the other side of the 50, so they're now back in Pleasant Grove territory where they have absolutely lived here in the second and the third and fourth quarters.
Yeah, this is one that you just keep waiting.
Handoff. Now that's a fresh set of legs. Am I right? Yeah.
You got it right.
They went
He
back
has 3 carries.
to Crump, and he slashed through there pretty quick.
He's up to 23 yards.
Yeah.
Good note that Jeremy Coven actually on that big run up to midfield, he surpassed 100 yards.
Did he now?
On the night. He's up to 105. 3 running backs for Oak Grove surpassing 100 yards.
Isn't that the absolute, their mantra?
That is. That's kind of what we expected to happen.
Hey, Jeffco Ed needs your help shaping the future of the district. About to begin a process of reviewing our current strategic plan as well as setting goals for the next 5 years. Very important part is getting feedback from our parents, students, teachers, and administrators. If you work for Jeffco Ed or you have a child that attends one of our schools, be sure and check your email for a link for our strategic plan survey. Answer a few short questions today and make a difference for tomorrow. Cool.
So if they were going for a stat night, and I know you want to reward the kids, you want to give them a night, maybe some career highs, something like that. But I think we're at the point where this isn't like if Pleasant Grove can come back or not. We're at the point where this game is over, and I got to say I'm surprised to still see any starters and for Oak Grove's offense.
Well, it's not unusual at any level for you to keep your linemen in there.
That's true. Especially when we're talking 4A football. You don't have that deep of a team to begin with.
You find your 5 best and you just let them wear them out, and they have. There's a dart outside. That's Martin on the run. Martin down the far sideline trying to cut in for the touchdown, but he's going to be out of bounds, I think, inside the 5-yard line. Now there's, the 15th running back? Now I'm being sarcastic there, but I'll bet it's 7.
Right on 7.
He's got some wheels. Martin on the carry, but
it was a flag on the play. That's why the chains haven't moved, but it looks like there's also an injury.
Yeah, slow getting up somebody at the 35-yard line. I can't lock eyes on him. It is a Spartan.
Personal foul makes me think some sort of chop block at the line of scrimmage, which it sounds bad. Chop block sounds bad, but it never means it's absolutely on purpose. It could just be how you fall. Someone's blocking you up high, someone falls into your legs.
It used to have a totally different meaning. Back in the day when you would literally try and take somebody's knees out.
Mm-hmm.
That was not at all the case here, not even trying to get close to that. But they've redefined it. And now, as you said, you can get blocked into somebody and get called.
Yeah. It's a play that they obviously make for safety, and it's for awareness. You have to be aware of where you are and where you're falling. And that's hard to do as an offensive lineman, I know.
Yeah. So that'll back them up to the 47-yard line.
And there was a player down, but it should be worth noting that that player looked like he was just dealing with cramps. It wasn't an injury from the block by any means.
Out of the huddle in a hurry. Noah Chapman, the senior quarterback, still in there. Left side. Boy, there was a huge hole, and he burst through there inside the 35-yard line. That might have been Crump again. Nah, Colvin.
I think you should just call every name for every carry. Eventually, you're going to get it right.
Well,
and that's why I'm not. I can sit over here and say things like this as the color guy, and not. I don't have the responsibility of play-by-play. That's too much for me. I know better than to try
I don't know about that. This is starting to remind me of, and I am really going to go way past your birth date on this, but back in the days when Alabama was running the triple option wishbone, they would have 2 and 3 players over 100 yards. There goes Martin right side, inside of the 30, the 28-yard line.
Hey, if you are
they got 3. Name them for me again. 3 running backs for the guys in white, over 100 yards.
That's right. We have Wiley Hicks, who is at 166 yards, also had 3 touchdowns. We had Ethan Jones, who had 161 yards and 2 touchdowns, also an interception. And then Jeremy Coven, who has lined up at fullback, I'll give him running back duties, with 118 yards and a touchdown.
Colvin, he gets the ball, left side. He's bouncing outside. Hauled down there in a nice tackle by Dwight Williams for Pleasant Grove. As you see, the clock at 3:40. And to be quite honestly, for Pleasant Grove, it's mercifully running quickly. And I don't think Oak Grove is in any real hurry to get to the line of scrimmage here now.
No, I mean, we talk about leaving starters in or anything like that, but they are being very deliberate about this. They obviously would rather run as much clock down than actually get in the end zone. They're not going to not try to get in the end zone, it seems, but they're going to make sure a lot of time runs off before they do.
They're going to do it. There's slashing through. That's Crump. You get a couple and run some more time off the clock. Yeah, I don't know that they're going to take a knee anytime soon. But they're not going to stop running what they do. I mean, this is their offense, and it's very successful. And Wilson, Fitzgerald, Thomas, Scott, Cook, we hadn't recognized them much. There you see the big fellows. Because, you know, this is not an easy offense to block for. Because sometimes there are twists and the double handoffs.
And I think one thing is that there have been a lot of plays, especially once they've really turned to the run here in the second half, where it's more than 5 offensive linemen. They're running out 7 guys. You see 77 right there, Tucker Cook. He's not even, or 77's there, and then 76 is Hunter Cook. Twins, by the way.
Yep.
He's not listed as a starter, and he's been out there every play in this second half.
Well,
because they run with 6-7 offensive linemen.
Running backs are often lined up behind the tackles, on their hip. So, they're also blocking.
They're technically eligible tight ends as well.
Yeah.
If this game was closer, you might see one of them peel off. And
well,
I don't expect that to happen tonight.
No, I really don't either. As you pointed out, what are they, 0 for 4 throwing? Colvin, he's carrying a couple of Spartans down to the 12-yard line as the clock continues to run at 1:34. Yeah, I think, well, there's a first down. So I think now it's taking knee time. And if I were the coach, now you may want to give these guys some snaps too.
I think that's probably the case.
Yeah, Oak Grove, very sportsmanlike. Ran the football, and they're letting the play clock run down. And here we've hit the 1 minute mark. As the clock continues to roll, and wow, those 9 games are in the rearview mirror now, aren't they?
They are, and now it's the 6 games ahead of you as you start a season 4-0.
Chapman takes a knee. They'll do that. No, they don't even have to do it again. This ball game's over. And so is the frustration for Oak Grove's Tigers. And they lost 41-7 last year. And they're going to flip this thing around. 46-13 they win, and that's at Pleasant Grove. So the purple and white will exchange handshakes. There's the 2 coaches. We got Musso and Fuquay. And we'll be talking with Darrell Fuquay, with Chris Osborne in just a moment. Running game, option, double handoffs. First play, they pitched it back twice.
They did, and threw a pass. And probably looking back, they said, why did we do that? We didn't need to try to do that. The final numbers, 51 rushes. These are my numbers, not official numbers. 51 rushes, 490 rushing yards.
Wow.
6 rushing touchdowns.
Well, I gotta think they're odds on right now. They're 2-0 in the region, so.
They are, and this is a region that was considered one of the more open regions coming into the season. Now, Oak Grove is going to have a couple of harder games, kind of like what we expected from tonight as well, but maybe more like the first half throughout the rest of this regular season. But as I mentioned at the top of the show, they get to finish the season with 4 of 5 games at home. They're going through a stretch right now with 4 of 5 games on the road, and they are breezing through it right now. So they can get to their bye week, one more game next week, and then to their bye week. They're going to have some momentum for that second half of the season.
They opened with 4?
They had
on the road?
4 of the first 5 weeks they're on the road. Then they have a bye,
Amazing.
and then 4 of the first 5 at home at the end. That was swapped, obviously, last year. Schedules flipped the way they do in high school football. And they went 4-1 in those home games last year, obviously different teams. And then finished 4-1 on the road. So 1 or 2 games better. You're looking at a completely different team, and a team that might soon move in to the top 10 rankings as well.
See if I think they're going to kneel in prayer. Then we'll have a chance to get Chris Musso on, whose Tigers go to 4-0, 2-0 in region play. Here's Russo. Russo actually with Fuqua, with the players. That's pretty cool. Real cool. So
I think sometimes when you have a game like that, and temperatures were obviously high in that second, third quarter between everything, and they cool down a little bit, especially when the game is reeling, and obviously Pleasant Grove players were disappointed, but now it's time for them to move on. They realize that. Oak Grove realizes, they got to win, but they're ready for next week too. And at the end of the day, these guys are really close to being neighbors as well. And
yeah,
one of them is going to walk away happier tonight, certainly, but by next Monday, they're both going to be on to next week.
We'll get Chris Musso in just a moment. There you can see Chris Osborne and John Thompson. As they're going to rush to get Russo and Musso. Now he's coming. All right, let's take it downfield. Chris?
Coach, convincing win, run.
Absolutely. Our guys did a really good job tonight. But first, I just want to say thank you to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for letting me be the coach at Oak Grove. Dr. G and all the Jeff Coed that takes care of all of these athletes and all of these programs. This is phenomenal. Thank y'all for coming out tonight.
All right, thanks, Coach. I'll let you get back to your team and celebrate. Thanks again. Back to you guys upstairs.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate your efforts along the sideline. Got to say thanks to all these cameramen, photogs, videographers, everybody in the booth. This is a tremendous crew as they play the alma mater at Pleasant Grove. We will roll out. Final comments from Caleb Turntime.
Oak Grove looked impressive. I mean, we saw them last year. They were a team that had promise, and at this point, they look like a team that's actually fulfilling a lot of that promise. I would not want to run into them in November, especially once they get the lead. That's what we saw tonight. When you have a team that can run like that and they have the lead, they are a tough team to stop. They look good. I think Pleasant Grove will be fine. They'll respond. Hopefully some of those injury bugs get shaken off, and I still expect them to be in the postseason as well. But big win for Oak Grove, big rivalry win. It's got to feel good.
Tigers win it. Oak Grove 46 over Pleasant Grove 13. It's been fun. We're going to have to say goodnight on behalf of Jeff Coed TV.